You didn't break him. You freed him.
Hello everyone, welcome to What If Naruto Was Beaten by Leaf Village and Unleashed His True Self movie. Before we start, please go support jazmingiordan for writing that awesome fanfic. This is the translated version I made. There will be some mistake in character's gender, but of course Naruto is a male. The world is full of hatred and fear of the unknown, leading people to make bad decisions in life. The worst of these is hurting a child who is completely innocent, a being who is the cause of all that hatred. This innocent child is Naruto Uzumaki, an orphan who never knew his parents and has to endure constant hateful stares, beatings that leave him nearly dead, and insults. He lived in an orphanage, but on his 5th birthday he was thrown out onto the streets where he was constantly beaten by the villagers. The strangest thing about this boy is that he never lost his smile or his optimism that everything would change for him. He saw it only as a dream he hadn't yet reached, but what he didn't know was that this dream would become a reality in a few days. Chapter 1. The narrator narrates. We find ourselves in the village of Konoha, one of the most prosperous and strongest villages of all. It was night, and some people were already getting ready for bed. In an alley, a boy no more than 5 years old with blonde hair and sapphire blue eyes was searching for a shirt in the trash. He was very hungry and hadn't eaten for 3 days. This boy's name is Naruto Uzumaki, an orphan who had been taken from the orphanage on his birthday. Finding no food in the alley, Naruto left to continue his search until he saw a place that sold ramen. The place was called Ikaraku. Naruto hesitated for a moment, but because he was so hungry, he went behind the shop to look for food in the trash. He found some noodles, and as he was about to eat them, he got scared when he saw an older man watching him, so he hid behind the garbage. "Kid, come out of there, I won't hurt you, I promise." Upon hearing that, Naruto in a kind voice came out of his hiding place to see the man who was watching him, then extended his hand, which Naruto took. "Tuche, my name is Tuche, and yours?" "Naruto, I am Naruto Uzumaki." "Tuche, nice to meet you, Naruto, tell me, are you hungry?" "Naruto, yes, Tuche, well, as you can see, I own this place, so come in and I'll give you some food." Naruto followed the man who had invited him in. Inside there was a lot of stuff, and Tuche approached Naruto, lifted him up and sat him in a chair. Then he started cooking. When he finished, he gave Naruto the bowl of ramen, which Naruto immediately began to eat uncontrollably. Tuche thought that Naruto hadn't eaten anything in a while because of how thin he was. "Tuche, tell me, Naruto, are you eating properly?" "Naruto, no, I was kicked out of the orphanage I was in on my birthday." "Tuche, and how old are you?" "Naruto, I'm 5 years old, I'll be 5 years old 4 days ago." "Tuche, that's horrible, a child shouldn't have to suffer like that." "Naruto, don't worry, I'm used to it. Besides, at the orphanage it's not like they fed me every day or treated me well." "Tuche, even so, a child your age couldn't live the way you're living." Then a very young girl came in with some large boxes which she put in a corner. "Dad, I'm home, sorry I'm late, it's just who is he?" "Tuche, daughter, this is Naruto, I found him looking for food in the trash." "Oh, you poor child, how old are you?" "Naruto, I'm 5 years old." "I am, let me introduce myself, my name is I am." "Naruto, it's a pleasure, I am." "Tuche, so Naruto, you don't have a place to stay?" "Naruto, no, I live in a cardboard box that's nearby." "Tuche, Naruto, do you want to stay here for the night?" "Naruto, I don't want to be a bother." "I am, of course you're not, Naruto, you can stay here and sleep if you want." "Naruto, well, just for tonight, it's really cold outside." "Tuche, okay, do you want more ramen?" "Naruto, yes please." Tuche gave Naruto another bowl of ramen, this time a little bigger than the last, and then he started eating while I am and Tuche watched him sadly. No child should have to live like that. They should have the love of a father and mother and be in a warm house, not out on the streets where it was freezing cold and alone, which could be dangerous for a child of only 5 years old. They snapped out of their thoughts when they saw that Naruto had fallen asleep from being so full. They also noticed that his hair was very dirty, almost a dull blonde, so they took him to a bed where he could sleep. They lay down next to him and hugged him since it seemed Naruto had had a terrible nightmare. The next day, Naruto woke up a little confused as he was in a very comfortable bed. Then he remembered that 2 very kind people had given him food and let him sleep there, so he got out of bed and went to where Tuche and Iam were working, although there were few customers. Then Iam noticed Naruto watching. "Iam's Naruto, good morning, how did you sleep?" "Naruto, good morning Iamson, I slept very well thanks to you letting me sleep with you." "Iam, don't worry Naruto, are you hungry?" "Naruto, a little." "Iam, okay, I'll make you breakfast, just wait a little while, okay?" "Naruto, sure." Iam started making breakfast. When it was ready, she gave it to Naruto to eat. After he finished, Naruto helped wash the plate until Iam told him to go to bed. Naruto went to the bathroom to take a 10-minute shower since Iam told him to take all the time in the world to get rid of all the dirt on his body and hair. When he finished showering, he came out of the bathroom wearing new clothes that Iam had bought him that morning. When Tuchai and Iam saw Naruto, they were impressed because his dull hair was gone. revealing bright blonde hair as silky as the sun itself. His skin was somewhere between tan and pale, and his two whisker-like marks on his cheeks and his sapphire-blue eyes made him look like the most beautiful angel in the whole world. "I am Naruto, you look so cute, you even look like an angel." "Naruto, thank you Iamson, but I see I should go, I don't want to cause any trouble." "Tuche, but what are you saying, you don't cause any problems." "Naruto, believe me I cause trouble here and that's what I don't want, but I'll come back to visit you all from time to time. Goodbye, Tuche/Iam, goodbye Naruto, come back whenever you want, you're always welcome here." After that, Naruto went for a walk and then a run to escape the villagers, although sometimes they caught him and left him with wounds on his body. But the strange thing is that he was always fine afterward. Hours passed and night fell. Naruto was very tired since he hadn't stopped running from the villagers who wanted to beat him all day. Finally, he reached his cardboard box and lay down to sleep exhausted. Chapter 2. The narrator narrates. Naruto woke up to the sounds of people talking as they walked through the streets. It was very early, so he decided to go look for food. He started walking through the village streets while some people glared at him with hatred, others spoke ill of him behind his back, which upset Naruto a little. But he decided to pretend he didn't care what they were saying so they wouldn't see how sad it made him to hear all that. Naruto went into the forest to look for fruit, since he ate it from time to time and he already knew where they grew. When he found some, he started eating them one by one until he was full. He sat there on the grass looking at the lake in front of him, since it was a very beautiful place and only Naruto knew where it was, since that place was Naruto's paradise because nobody ever passed by. He began to watch the clouds peacefully when a deer came to drink water. The reason Naruto liked being there was because of the animals that came to drink water since they were beautiful to him, and besides they didn't bother him. The wolves, bears, etc. actually ignored him, but they would glance at him a few times and then continue on their way. "Naruto, I don't understand why nobody likes me very well. Naruto, you're talking to a bird." "Bird, show some respect, brat." "Naruto, what the, a talking bird." "Bird, wait, can you understand me?" "Naruto, I think so." "Koi, well, as you can understand, I'll tell you my name, I'm called Koi and I'm not a bird, I'm a hawk. That's it." Naruto started talking to Koi to the point that they became good friends. "Koi, well Naruto, I'll always be by your side." "Naruto, thanks Koi, but if you see me getting hit, don't get involved, okay? I just want you to go to the Hokage and tell him, okay? Koi, even though I don't like it, I'll accept it since it's your decision." Naruto, yes, thank you for understanding. After playing with Koi for a while, Naruto got hungry, so Koi went to hunt some fish for Naruto, who went to gather firewood to make a campfire. When he lit it, he waited for Koi to come back. After waiting a while longer, the hawk came back with 4 fish in its talons and beak. "Koi, here you go." "Naruto, thanks Koi, these 2 fish filled me up." "Koi, okay." Koi stood beside Naruto, who began to pierce the fish with a stick and then place it near the fire. He did the same with the others. Night had fallen and it was cold, but Naruto was warm since he was in front of the fire, as was Koi. Suddenly they heard the bushes rustling. Naruto began to tremble with fear and Koi was ready to fly and find the Hokage to help Naruto. But then a middle-aged man emerged from the bushes looking somewhat lost. Seeing him, Naruto calmed down a little. "Naruto, excuse me, are you lost?" "To be honest, I'm a little ashamed to admit it, but I got lost." "Naruto, hahaha, don't worry, it happens to everyone, sir, but who is it?" "Hiruzen, my name is Hiruzen Sarutobi and you are?" "Naruto, Uzumaki, and this is Koi, my friend." Hiruzen saw the hawk, but he didn't say anything because Hiruzen wouldn't understand him since only Naruto understood him. "Hiruzen, and Naruto, how old are you?" "Naruto, I'm 5 years old." "Hiruzen, and where are your parents?" Hiruzen already knew about Naruto but thought that some people had adopted him and were now camping as a family, but when he saw Naruto with his head down he became worried. "Naruto, I don't know who my parents are or if they even loved me, but what I do know is that when I turned 5 they kicked me out of the orphanage, so now I'm living on the streets." "Hiruzen, what Naruto, I'm living on the streets." "Hiruzen, a child your age shouldn't have to live on the streets." "Naruto, that's what Tucha and Iam told me." "Hiruzen, and who are they?" "Naruto, they're the ones who fed me and let me sleep at their house, but since I didn't want to cause too much trouble I left." "Hiruzen, I understand Naruto, do you want me to give you a house where you can live comfortably?" Naruto, seriously, with stars in his eyes. "Hiruzen, of course I don't want you living on the streets, especially since it gets so cold at night." "Naruto, I'd like to live in a house and can Koi come too?" "Hiruzen, but of course yes." Naruto, awesome, did you hear that Koi, we'll live together. At that moment Koi landed on Naruto's arm but her claws hurt him so she moved away a little. Seeing this, Hiruzen bandaged Naruto's arm and then told him he would buy something special so Koi could stay on his arm. Naruto was very grateful, but Hiruzen told him to wait a few days until he could buy a house for Naruto. So they started eating and having a great time until Hiruzen had to leave, feeling a little sad but also angry about what the women from the orphanage had done. He decided they would learn a lesson for doing that to Naruto. Meanwhile, he was about to go to sleep, so he made himself a bed out of leaves and lay down. Koi perched on a branch of a tree trunk next to Naruto, and that's how they fell asleep. Chapter 3. Naruto narrates. I was already awake, eating some berries that were in the bushes. Koi was by my side, eating something I don't know, but anyway. Then I got dressed and went into the lake, which was a little cold since it was very early. I got out quickly and dried off, put on my clothes, and started walking while Koi flew above me. When I reached the village streets, I saw a lot of people walking as usual. Among them was a little boy with black hair just like me, but people kept talking about me. So I walked a little faster to get away from that boy, but I didn't notice a big man in the path, so I bumped into him by accident. Man, what's wrong with you, brat? I didn't know what to do, so I started running in fear, but that man was following me along with other people. I looked at Koi, who was flying next to me, and he understood, so he went to find Hiruzen. I started running faster until, on a bad turn, I entered a dead end. But when I tried to leave, those men were already blocking the only exit. Man 1, today you will die, demons. Naruto, please don't hurt me, it was an accident. Man 2, shut up, you killed my son. Man 4, you killed my wife. The men started getting closer to me, but I didn't understand why they were saying that to me since I've never killed anyone. That's when they grabbed me by the neck and started hitting me. The narrator narrates. The men began beating Naruto all over his body until they grew tired. Then they pulled out a knife they had hidden and stabbed him 10 times. Naruto wanted to scream, but fear and sobs prevented him. They then wrote demon on his back and crucified him with nails they had brought as they had just finished working. Afterward, they began hitting him in his wounds. Naruto begged for mercy repeatedly, but the men didn't listen until they grew bored. As they were about to leave, they saw Hiruzen with some Anbu glaring at them furiously. Hiruzen, Anbu, kill these men. The men began to beg for mercy as they did not want to die, while Koi looked at them with great anger. Man 1, mercy, no, we don't want to die. Hiruzen, when the child cried and begged for mercy, did they stop? At that moment, Koi, tired of listening to the men, gouged out one of their eyes and went to where Naruto was, very worried, as was Hiruzen. While the Anbu were killing those men, Hiruzen took Naruto away and brought him to the hospital. When they arrived, there was a doctor there. Hiruzen, please help this child. Doctor, I don't help demons. The doctor hadn't realized he was speaking to the Hokage, and Hiruzen was already too furious to hear it. Hiruzen, I ordered you to do something and you dare disobey me. Then the doctor realized who he was talking to, so he grabbed Naruto and put him on a stretcher before taking him away while Hiruzen and Koi waited in the waiting room. Hours passed and no doctor or nurse came out of that room. Hiruzen was already very scared about what would happen to Naruto, but then the doctor came out. Dr. Hokage-sama, the child is stable now, but he suffered many very serious injuries. I don't know how he survived them, but he's better now. Hiruzen, what a relief. If I had heard that he wasn't going to make it out of this, I would have killed those who did this to him a second time. Upon hearing this, the doctor didn't even want to consider doing anything to Naruto, as it could kill him. Then Hiruzen entered the room with Lowe's to see a heavily bandaged Naruto covered in tubes, but he was fine, he was just asleep. Hiruzen then left a trusted ninja to watch over Naruto while Koi stayed by his side, not wanting to leave him alone. After an hour, Naruto woke up, a little confused, looking around until his gaze fell on where Koi was sleeping. Naruto, what happened to me? Upon hearing that voice, Koi woke up and flew to Naruto's bed. Koi, you were in very serious condition, but luckily they saved you. Naruto, I see, so I'm alive. Koi, yes, you scared me because you wouldn't wake up anymore. Naruto, I'm sorry, Koi, I won't do it again. Koi, you have no idea how angry I was when Hiruzen and I found you with those men beating you. Naruto, don't worry, I'm fine now. By the way, I want to talk to those men, I want to know why they did it. Koi, unfortunately, that won't be possible. Naruto, why do you say that? Koi, Hiruzen ordered them killed when he saw what they did to you and I ripped out one of their eyes. Naruto, well, what can you do? I'll never know why people hate me so much. Koi, it's best not to think about that, Naruto, and get some rest. You're still very fragile. Naruto, okay, but sleep next to me. Koi, okay. Koi sat on the metal frame at the head of Naruto's bed to sleep close to him, and when Naruto saw this, he fell asleep more peacefully, as did Koi. Chapter 4. The narrator narrates. 3 days had passed, and today Naruto was being discharged. He was already waiting for the nurse to come and tell him he could leave since he didn't like being in hospitals, even though he had been there many times. A very good nurse, Koi, who always took care of Naruto, was watching him as it was clear he was very lost in thought until a nurse came in. Nurse, you can leave now, demon. Then the nurse left, leaving Naruto a little sad but Koi very angry. Then the blonde boy got out of bed, changed, and left, but not before approaching the nurse who had called him a demon. Naruto, forgive me if I ever bothered you, ma'am. I assure you I won't do it again. Then Naruto left, leaving a nurse deep in thought. When the blonde-haired boy left the hospital, he headed to the Hawkage Tower since Hiruzen had gone there yesterday to tell him he wanted to see him today. When he arrived, he greeted the secretary, but she didn't even return the greeting, which annoyed Koi even more because of how they were treating Naruto, especially since he hadn't done anything to them. When they entered the Hawkage office, they saw Hiruzen signing a seemingly endless mountain of paperwork, but then Hiruzen noticed Naruto and Koi's presence. Hiruzen, hello Naruto, how are you today? Naruto, alright old man, I'm feeling much better now after resting a lot in the hospital. Hiruzen, I'm glad to hear that Naruto, well, back to what I called you to. Naruto, right, what did he want me for? Hiruzen, well, do you remember when we first met I told you I was going to see if I could get you a house? Naruto, so what's wrong with that? Hiruzen, well, I got it for you. It's in the red light district where the thieves hang out, but they won't do anything to you. Besides, other people don't go in there. That place can be your refuge from people and the cold night air. What do you think? Naruto, that sounds great, man, and when am I moving? Hiruzen, today, but before I give you the keys, here's some clothes, some money, and there's food in the house for 5 days. For now, you should only spend the money on food. Okay, leave the clothes to me. Naruto, yeah, old man, whatever you say. Hiruzen, well, here are your keys and the money. Hiruzen gives Naruto an envelope and a key, which he later thanks him for. Hiruzen, well, I'll accompany you to your house to show it to you right before I forget here. Hiruzen gives Naruto something which he curiously takes and opens. What he sees confuses him, then he looks at Hiruzen, who smiles at him. Hiruzen, what you have there, Naruto, is a special glove where hawks can place their talons. Naruto, that's awesome. Naruto put the glove on his hand and then Koi stood there. After that, Hiruzen took Naruto to show him around his house. As they walked, people didn't look at Naruto since he was with Hiruzen, so he took Naruto's arm with one hand while Koi held the other. Hiruzen smiled at this, but he also knew that Naruto felt safe with him. After walking for a while, they arrived at the red light district where there were a lot of thieves and women selling their bodies. Naruto was just curious, but after walking a little further, they arrived at Naruto's new house. It wasn't big, but rather small, perfect for a boy who lived alone. Naruto opened the door and went inside with Hiruzen. Then he went to see the place, which wasn't much, just a kitchen, a bedroom with a bathroom, and a small living room. There was also a very nice terrace. After seeing the whole place, Naruto went to where Hiruzen was sitting in one of the small armchairs. Hiruzen, and did you like it? Naruto, I loved it, it's very cute and perfect for me. Hiruzen, I'm glad you like Naruto. Well, I have to get back to work, but if you need anything, send me a message through your Koi Falcon, okay? Naruto, don't worry, Hiruzen, hee. Upon hearing this, Hiruzen was pleased as he was now treating him like a grandfather. He ruffled Naruto's silky golden hair before leaving. After Naruto left, Hiruzen chatted with Koi for a while as it was daytime. Then they began playing a lot in their new house until they were tired, so they sat down on the small sofa. Naruto, how long are we playing? Koi, I don't know, but it's already night. Naruto, wow, time sure does fly by. Do you want something to eat? Koi, well, that's true, but I'd better go hunting, otherwise I'll forget how to hunt. Naruto, okay then, I'll make myself something to eat. After Koi went hunting, Naruto started looking for something to eat, but he realized he didn't know how to cook since he'd never been taught, so he just took out some instant ramen, heated it up, and started eating. When he finished, he waited for Koi to return. After a few hours, she came back with her food, which she also ate. Then Naruto went to brush his teeth and went to his bed, which was also small. Koi sat at the head of the bed and they both fell asleep. Chapter 5. The narrator narrates. Naruto was already awake, so he went to take a 15-minute shower where he relaxed a bit. Then he came out of the bathroom already changed, wearing navy blue pants and a white t-shirt with an orange swirl on the chest. Naruto, hey Koi, what do you say we go buy some things for the house? Koi, that's fine by me. Naruto, then after breakfast we'll go. Naruto went to the kitchen to heat up some instant ramen since he still didn't know how to cook. After eating it, he went to get the glove so Koi would stand on it, then grabbed the money and left his house, closing the door behind him. He started walking until he saw a shop that sold everything, well, only a few things in the red light district. So he went in since they didn't look at him with hatred. Once inside, he looked around at what they had and then bought a cookbook. There was only one, papers where you could write and attach the note to your hawk's leg, 2 notebooks and pencils to learn to write. After buying, he went to the library where the woman looked at him with hatred, but Naruto didn't care since he was happy to have a house to live in. After looking for books that didn't really interest him, he passed by a place where there were some that did, like a cookbook, a shinobi history book, one about chakra and the elements, the KK-Jaken, the clans, and other things that caught his attention. After grabbing all those books, he went to where the librarian, but now it was another girl who seemed to be new to the village since she didn't look down on Naruto. Librarian, hello, how can I help you? Naruto, I'd like to take these books, please. Librarian, okay, that would be 110 yen since you're taking a lot, but if you want you can buy them outright or we'll let it be 210 yen. Naruto, then I'll buy them. Librarian, okay. Naruto gave her the money, and then the librarian put the books in a bag so it wouldn't be difficult for him to carry them. When Naruto left, he walked calmly until he got home, where he put everything on the table. He placed the books on a shelf in the small living room and the rest in his bedroom. Then he started reading some books, like the history of shinobi and their legends. Naruto became interested in becoming a ninja, so tomorrow he was going to ask Hiruzen if he could go to the ninja academy. Then a page fell from the book, which Naruto picked up to see a picture of two people. One of them was making a cross with their hands, which intrigued Naruto, so he copied it. For a moment, nothing happened, so he decided to investigate a little more until he saw something that caught his attention. Naruto, Kage Bunshin no Jutsu. What will that be? Naruto started reading a little more until he realized that the man making that cross with his fingers seemed to be using that technique. So Naruto tried it again, concentrating his chakra. Naruto Keiji Bunsa Chayan no Jutsu. And then a bunch of identical Narutos appeared, which scared Koi, who was asleep. Koi Naruto, why didn't you tell me you had brothers who looked like you? Naruto, they're not my brothers, they're clones of me. Koi, clones. Naruto, yes, according to what I read here, with these clones I can investigate faster since they're used for spying. Koi, and why spy? Naruto, because if you kill one of my clones, the information they gathered will reach me as if I had been there. Koi, I understand that could be very useful to you, don't you think? Naruto, besides they're not like the Bunshin no Jutsu, which are just replicas, these clones are real. They can hit you and talk to you, whereas the Bunshin no Jutsu can't. Koi, great, then with these clones you can learn even more. Naruto, yeah, I'm so lucky I learned to read when I was 3. After spending about an hour reading Jutsu books, Naruto dispelled all the clones, causing him to faint. Koi became very worried and had to call Hiruzen. Naruto subconscious. Naruto found himself in a sewer, a rather strange one as it had a rather strong draft. Naruto began to feel a little scared, but then he unconsciously started walking toward the source of the draft. After walking for a while, Naruto thought he was lost as he didn't know where he was and was becoming desperate to find out what was in this strange place. He started walking again, this time a little faster, until he came upon a giant room. In front of him was a huge gate with the kaiji for a seal in the middle, but behind the gate there was only darkness. Naruto felt a little more afraid of entering that place and not being able to get out. But just then, out of the darkness, he saw 2 blood-red eyes and a huge smile that frightened Naruto even more, but also piqued his curiosity to know who this creature was. So Naruto did the dumbest thing a person can do. He didn't run away or faint, but something else. Naruto, who are you? I am. Chapter 6. Naruto narrates. I was in a very strange sewer, and I came across something or someone with blood-red eyes and a giant smile. Instead of doing what normal people would do, like running away or fainting, I actually asked who it was because I was very curious. Kyuubi, I am Kyuubi, also known as the nine-tailed fox. I am the reason why everyone hates you and beats you up. When I heard that, I thought I would feel fury or anger, but that didn't happen. Instead, I felt a little sadness. Naruto, so that's why, and how are you feeling? The narrator narrates. Jujai was very surprised to hear that, as he thought the boy would react badly like everyone else. But in reality, he cared more about how the boy felt. Kyuubi, I feel furious because now I'm locked up again. Naruto, and you want to be free? Kyuubi, of course. Naruto, so how can I help you? Kyuubi, you know that if you free me you die, right? Naruto, I don't care as long as I see you free and happy. Besides, we all deserve to be happy. The Kyuubi was more than surprised, as he hadn't expected Naruto to say that. In fact, he never expected a Jinchuriki to think about the happiness of a Biju and not care about dying so that he could be free. Kyuubi Gaki, that's not necessary. Naruto, but you don't like being locked up, so why are you changing your mind now? Kyuubi, because you're the first Jinchuriki who cared about how I felt. The others only wanted my power, but you're different, that's why I decided to help you. Naruto, help me with what? Kyuubi, you need to improve like a ninja because if I'm not mistaken, you want to be one, right? Naruto, yes, I do want to. Kyuubi, well, the first thing you'll do is break the seal a little so we can communicate better telepathically. Naruto, and what's that? Kyuubi, that we can talk mentally. Naruto, I understand. Kyuubi, besides being able to go outside but as a one-tailed baby fox. Naruto, great, so you'll train me. Kyuubi, yes, but I'll need you to tell the old man to give you some special papers. I'll tell you what they are later, and scrolls with jutsus, okay? Naruto, okay, but how do I get out of here? Kyuubi, well, since you fainted from using your clones and you're not used to it, you'll have to wait until you wake up, which will happen right now. So break the seal a little, and to get back here you must assume the lotus position and concentrate on me, okay? Naruto. Then Naruto broke the seal a little and began to disappear while looking at the Kyuubi, who was falling asleep again. Outside of Naruto's mind. Hiruzen and Koi watched Naruto in bed, as he still hadn't woken up, until he began to move a little and then opened those sapphire blue eyes. Naruto, I think I went too far this time. Hiruzen, Naruto, what happened to you? Naruto, I made too many clones of myself to learn more things, and when I undid them I fainted. Hiruzen, like what clones did you create? Naruto, like 200 clones of myself. Hiruzen, and what was that technique? Naruto, well, I used the shadow clone jutsu. Why, Hiruzen, Naruto, that's a very dangerous technique and no one knows how you learned it without the scroll I have stored away. At that moment, Naruto gets out of bed, takes the photo out of the book and shows it to Hiruzen. Naruto, I learned it from there, to be honest. It wasn't very difficult to learn. Well, when I first tried it, nothing happened, but when I started reading a little more, I understood how to learn the technique. Hiruzen, he's a genius. Just by looking at a picture and reading a little about that technique, he was able to do it on the second try, Hiruzen thought, looking at Naruto and all. Naruto, Hiruzen, hee, is that okay? Hiruzen, yes, but you're a genius, Naruto. Not many can learn that technique on the second try. Naruto, really? Hiruzen, of course, only Jounin can learn that technique, but only in a week, and they can only make 2 clones because it uses up a lot of chakra. Naruto, I understand. Hiruzen, hee, can I ask you something? Hiruzen, if Naruto would ever. Naruto, can you lend me some jutsu scrolls? Hiruzen, I understand. Well, first thing tomorrow morning I'll give you some you can use. Naruto, and some special papers to find out what nature my chakra is. Hiruzen agreed. After that, Hiruzen left since he had more papers to sign while Naruto started cooking. He'd been learning how to cook, so he made curry rice and began eating. Meanwhile, Koi was eating a mouse he'd caught. After they finished eating, Naruto went to wash the dishes. When he finished, he went to read for a while since he was a little bored and still not sleepy, but then the Nine-Tails spoke to him. Kyuubi, Gaki, tomorrow when the old man gives you all that, go to the Forest of Death. There you can train better. Naruto's okay. After reading for about an hour, Naruto was already sleepy, so he went to his room to lie down while Koi sat at the head of the bed, and then they both fell asleep. Chapter 7. The narrator narrates. Naruto had already eaten breakfast since he woke up a little earlier to wait for Hiruzen when suddenly he heard a knock at the door, so he went to open it and there was Hiruzen, so he let him in. Hiruzen, well Naruto, here are some scrolls for all the affinities just in case. Naruto, thank you Hiruzen, hee. Hiruzen, you're welcome Naruto, well now I have to go and continue with the paperwork. Naruto, Hiruzen, hee, a question. Hiruzen, yes, tell me. Naruto, can you do the shadow clone jutsu? Hiruzen, why Naruto, so why don't you use your clones to sign your paperwork? Hiruzen mentally slapped himself for not having thought of that before. Hiruzen, well I don't think I thought of that, but thanks for telling me your idea Naruto. I think it will be very helpful. After that, Hiruzen had to leave, so Naruto put on the glove for Koi to put on. Then he ran through the streets not caring what people thought of him until he reached the Forest of Death. There the Nine-Tails told him to enter, which Naruto did. After walking for a while they arrived at a perfect place to train. So Naruto stopped walking and the Nine-Tails emerged from Naruto's body, startling Koi. After a long explanation from Naruto, she calmed down. Kyuubi, okay kid, the first thing you'll do is this, you'll jog around the village twice. Then you'll do 90 push-ups, squats, sit-ups, and sit-ups. For now, we're going to focus on building your endurance during these days while 5 clones of you practice chakra control, okay? Naruto, yes, but one question. Kyuubi, tell me. Naruto, what's your name? Kyuubi, I already told you they call me Kyuubi. Naruto, they call you many things, but what's your real name? Kyuubi, you're very clever, kid, do you really want to know my real name? Naruto, yes, I want to call you by your real name. Kurama, well my real name is Kurama. Naruto, nice name Kurama-sensei. Kurama, thanks I guess, well, start training. Naruto created the 5 clones Kurama had told him to, and then he started jogging around the entire village while Kurama taught the clones chakra control. After completing the 2 laps, Naruto began doing 90 push-ups, sit-ups, and squats, even though he wasn't actually tired. When he finished, he went to where Kurama was, who smiled upon seeing him. Kurama, so you've finished your warm-up. Naruto, was that just a warm-up? Kurama, of course if you spend a whole day and night running from the villagers, this is nothing for you, so I'm going to send you to buy this thing I'm about to write down for you. Kurama began writing down on a piece of paper what Naruto needed to buy and then gave it to him. After taking the paper, Naruto went to find the money to buy it. When he had the money, he went to a shop in the red light district. Upon entering, he began looking at what he needed to buy. Naruto, 10-ton weights, shurikens, kunai explosive tags, blank paper, what could that be for? A kunai pouch, a backpack, and a first aid kit. After Naruto bought it, he went to pay the man and then went back to the Forest of Death where Kurama and Koi were waiting for him. Naruto, it's done, so what do I do now? Kurama, so did you buy the 10-ton weights? Naruto, yes, why? Kurama, okay then, put 2 on your ankles and 2 on your wrists and start running 100 laps around the village. Then you'll do 200 sit-ups, push-ups, squats, and sit-ups. Naruto, what, do you want me to die? Kurama, kid, if you want to improve your stamina, start doing what I told you. Naruto, good. Naruto began running 100 laps around the entire village with the 10-ton weights. When he reached the 90th lap, he couldn't do any more. He continued, and after finishing, he began doing 200 push-ups, sit-ups, and squats. He almost didn't manage to do them all, but Kurama told him he would get used to it. When he finished all that, he approached Kurama again. Kurama, very well, Naruto. Now I want you to study shinobi history and fuinjutsu. Naruto, okay. Naruto began reading what Kurama had told him, including that Kurama had gone to use a Shigekure with some of Naruto's blood, which he hadn't realized he'd taken. He also brought out a bunch of scrolls on fuinjutsu and taijutsu, as well as a very powerful sword and another scroll to learn the Uzumaki sword technique. Naruto studied the Uzumaki fuinjutsu, but only level 1 since he was still a beginner. They spent the whole day like this until night fell. Kurama told him to dispel the clones when he got to his bed. When Naruto arrived, he prepared something to eat while Koi hunted a mouse. After finishing his meal, Naruto washed the dishes and went to his room to lie down on his bed as Kurama had instructed. Koi sat at the head of Naruto's bed to sleep, but before going to sleep, Naruto dispelled the clones he had left in the Forest of Death and fainted from exhaustion. Chapter 8. The narrator narrates. Naruto had woken up early to take a shower since he had sweated a lot during training yesterday. He took a 15-minute shower and left the bathroom to make himself a light breakfast of orange juice and toast. After finishing his breakfast, he went to the Forest of Death with Koi to continue training. When they arrived, Kurama emerged from Naruto's body, just like yesterday in his baby form. Kurama, okay Naruto, you'll do the same as yesterday, but this time you'll make 20 clones of yourself and divide them into groups of 5, okay? Naruto, yes, but what will my clones do? Kurama, okay, one group will train chakra control, the second will study shinobi history, the third will train fuinjutsu, the fourth will train with kunai and shuriken target shooting, and you'll do what you did yesterday with the weights, okay? Naruto, okay. Naruto created 20 clones and ordered them to divide into 4 groups of 5, while Kurama created 4 clones of himself to help each group. Meanwhile, the original Naruto went to run 100 laps around the village with 10-kilo weights. An hour passed before Naruto finished the last lap, so he began doing the 200 push-ups, squats, pull-ups, and sit-ups he had to do, which took an hour, whereas yesterday it had taken him 2 hours. When he finished, he approached Kurama to ask him what he could do next. Naruto, I'm done, Kurama-sensei. Kurama, alright kid, now go and tell the old man to let you into the academy. Naruto, okay, shall we go, Koi, if we go. Koi put on the glove that Naruto had and they ran to the Hokage Tower where Naruto greeted the secretary, but she still didn't respond to the greeting. With nothing else to do, he went to see Hiruzen, and when he entered, he saw him still with the paperwork. Naruto, hello Hiruzen, hee. Hiruzen, hello Naruto, everything alright? Naruto, yes, but I came to ask you something. Hiruzen, and what is this question you want to ask me? Naruto, I was wondering yesterday if you could put me in the ninja academy. Hiruzen, so you want to enter the academy? Naruto, yes. Hiruzen, well that's fine by me, you just need to fill out this form with your information. Naruto approached Hiruzen's desk and began writing his information. Hiruzen, seeing Naruto's beautiful handwriting, thought he had practiced writing. When Naruto finished, he gave the paper to Hiruzen, who signed it. Hiruzen, very well, you start the academy in a month, by the way, when did you learn to write? Naruto, at 4 years old it wasn't difficult for me since I had all day to do nothing, plus I also learned to read. Hiruzen, I'm glad to hear that. Well, is there anything else I can help you with? Naruto, no, not for now, thanks Hiruzen, hee. Hiruzen, you're welcome, Naruto. Then Naruto went back to the Forest of Death, where Kurama and Naruto's clones were still training. Kurama, and how did it go? Naruto, okay, I'll start in a month. Kurama, well, at least we'll have time to train Naruto. I want you to train your taijutsu. Naruto, okay. Naruto began to look at the scroll Kurama had given him, which explained how to train in taijutsu. After reading for about 2 hours, Naruto understood a little of how to do it, so he began to practice tirelessly until he succeeded. But he was only at a beginner level, so it wasn't enough for him, so he pushed himself even harder to make his taijutsu perfect. After 2 hours of training, Kurama created another clone to help the first team while the original went with Naruto. Kurama, how are you doing with taijutsu, Naruto? Naruto, well, I'm still at the beginner level, but I'm almost there. Kurama, good, because when you master taijutsu, I want you to train with the sword I'm going to give you. Naruto, okay then, I'll try even harder. Naruto continued training in taijutsu until after another 2 hours he mastered it. He then moved on to the next level, which was a bit more complicated, but after 3 hours he managed to achieve it. Although he didn't completely master it, he was able to do it fairly well. Night was approaching, so Kurama told Naruto to rest for the day. Naruto went home with Koi, but Koi went hunting. So Naruto arrived home alone and started cooking something light. He made a salad with rice and curry, then began to eat since Koi had also brought her food. When they finished, Naruto read a bit of the Fuinjutsu scroll until he felt sleepy, so he went to sleep. But not before dispelling the clones he had left in the Forest of Death, while Koi watched him faint from exhaustion from training. He looked at the moon and then fell asleep. Chapter 9. The narrator narrates. It was already morning and a bunch of blonde-haired people were training in a forest with 5 baby foxes and a hawk. These were Koi, Kurama, and Naruto, who had been training since very early. Naruto had already learned level 1 of Fuinjutsu and Uzumaki Taijutsu thanks to the clones, but now Kurama wanted to know his true nature, so he approached the original Naruto who was practicing Taijutsu while other clones read the scroll. Kurama, Gaki, come here for a moment. Naruto, what's wrong? Approaching Kurama. Kurama, I want to know what your affinity is. Naruto, and how are we going to know? Kurama, with the papers I asked you for. Naruto pulled a blank piece of paper out of his jacket. Naruto, so what should I do? Kurama, you just need to put a little of your chakra on the paper and we'll know. Naruto, a little confused, did what Kurama asked, so he put some of his chakra into the paper and then the paper was cut into 3 parts, one wrinkled, another got wet, and the last one burned. Kurama, well, you have 4 natures, 2 from your father, 1 from your mother, and the other fire nature must be from me. Naruto, Kurama, a question. Kurama, tell her. Naruto, who was your other Jinchuriki? Because there must have been someone else before me, right? Kurama, well, the truth is, if you just don't react badly. Naruto, okay. Kurama, my former Jinchuriki was your mother. To say Naruto was surprised was an understatement. He was in shock. He couldn't even move. The word mother echoed in his head a lot of times until he was able to react. Naruto, Kurama, tell me the truth. If your former Jinchuriki was my mother, then you knew her just like you knew my father, right? Kurama, yes, but I'm not the one to tell you. It's the old man who didn't tell you. Naruto, wait, what? Kurama, didn't the old man tell you, and would he be the one to tell you? Naruto, and why didn't he ever tell me? Kurama, kid, there are 2 reasons why the old man didn't tell you. Naruto, and what are they? Kurama, one reason is because your parents made many enemies and could hurt you, and the other reason is that he had to tell you the truth when you turned 15 and became a Chunin-level ninja. Naruto, I understand, so he didn't want to hide the truth from me forever. Kurama, yes, but you must pretend you don't know anything about who your parents are. Naruto, okay, but what are their names? Kurama, your mother's name is Kushina Uzumaki and your father is Minato Namikaze, the 4th Hokage, also known as the Yellow Flash. Your mother was known as the Bloody Fanta Girl. They were the strongest of all. Furthermore, your mother came from a powerful clan that no longer exists as it was massacred years ago and its village was left in ruins. Naruto, so I'm the son of 2 heroes, and I come from a powerful clan that was massacred. Kurama, yes, but there's something I haven't told you yet. Naruto, and what is it? Kurama, you have your bloodline sealed and I wanted to ask if you want to release it when you finish the academy. Naruto, and does that have risks? Kurama, your appearance may change, your chakra reserves may be at the cage level, so you'll have to train more with that, but for now, when you finish the academy, we'll only release a little of it, not all of it, so you don't die. Naruto, okay, but if we free ourselves up a little, I won't see any change, right? Kurama, you won't stay like that, it will just remove a little of the baby fat you have, but only a little. Naruto, and what would happen if we freed her from one? Kurama, well, you would die from releasing all the chakra that you have sealed away. Naruto, and what's my chakra level now? Kurama, Chunin level if we release a little Anbu level, and if we release it completely, Cage level. But with me inside you, you'd be high Jonin level, and if we then release a little of your Uzumaki blood along with your chakra, you'd be high Anbu level, and if we release it completely, you'd surpass Cage level. Naruto, he would be very powerful. Kurama, yes, but for that you must train more and also control my chakra. If you don't control it, you'll only reach Cage level when we remove the seal, understand? Naruto, yes, I understand well, I'd better go now since it's getting dark. Kurama, you're right. After saying that, Kurama re-entered Naruto's body. Then he told Koi that they had to leave, so she put on her gauntlet and they left. When they arrived home, Naruto started cooking while Koi went to hunt an animal. When Naruto finished cooking, he put his food on the table and sat down to eat. Then Koi came back with a fish. When they finished eating, Naruto went to his room while Koi sat at the head of Naruto's bed to sleep. The blonde-haired boy lay down on his bed and then destroyed the clones that were still in the Forest of Death. When he destroyed them, he fainted from exhaustion and a headache, as always, from the information he received. But now the headache was very mild since he was getting used to it. Chapter 10. The narrator narrates. Today Naruto went to the Forest of Death a little early, since the sun hadn't yet risen so he could train. Kurama told him to do the same as yesterday, so Naruto started creating clones and went to run 100 laps around the entire village with 10-kilo weights. When he finished, he started doing 200 sit-ups, squats, and push-ups. After finishing, he continued training his taijutsu while the clones learned to climb trees using only their feet, and other clones learned to make hand seals of any kind. Some clones had already learned to throw shurikens at targets, they only needed to learn kunai. Naruto was learning quickly, but what he was struggling with now was genjutsu. Kurama later taught him how to break free from them, but he still didn't master it very well. Now Kurama was teaching him to control his chakra so he could use it occasionally without losing control. They were training very hard so that Naruto could withstand even the slightest strain. The seal has his bloodline and chakra sealed, but that would take time. Although Naruto was making great progress for a 5-year-old, he already gave the impression of being a prodigy in this, since just by understanding, seeing, and training the technique, he could already do it. However, it is difficult for him to perform the jutsus, but he can do some more or less well. Naruto, I'm almost mastering taijutsu. Kurama, well that's impressive since it's the Uzumaki taijutsu, not just anyone can learn it overnight. Naruto, so I'm training in my clan's taijutsu. Kurama, yes, and later you'll learn the sword skill that was also of the Uzumaki clan, and you can perform the low level of the Uzumaki's Fuinjutsu, but that's thanks to your clones. Naruto, so what I'm learning from these scrolls is from the Uzumaki clan. Kurama, yes, although I must tell you that your mother is the princess of the Uzumaki clan and she never learned them. Naruto, so that means I'll be a prince. Kurama, if you're the next feudal lord of a village that's in ruins, but that you can repair. Naruto, awesome, and where did you get these scrolls? Kurama, from your home village, I just needed a little of your blood to be able to enter since it was surrounded by a barrier of whirlpools and couldn't be passed. Naruto, and when did you draw my blood? Kurama, didn't you feel a pricking sensation in your neck the last time you were training? Naruto, yeah, but I thought it was a bug that had bitten me, so it was you, right? Kurama, yes, I also got the most powerful sword from there, but I won't give it to you until you master Uzumaki Taijutsu perfectly and advance to the next level, which would be the last one. After that, you move on to the sword. Naruto, okay, but my clones are still working on it since it's not very easy to learn. Kurama, well you're good because Taijutsu can be learned in 2 or 3 weeks at most if it's Uzumaki Taijutsu, and if it's a common style, well you master it in 15 or 20 days at most. That's for those who are already experts, but if you're a beginner, you master it in a week. Naruto, is this Taijutsu really that difficult? Kurama, yes kid, this Taijutsu has no blind spots for your enemies to hit you, but if you haven't mastered it, you'll have openings in some areas. Naruto, I understand, then I'll have to master it. Then Naruto continued his training until he got a little hungry, so Kurama told him to go get something to eat. Naruto left with Koi and started walking through the streets until he reached Ikaraku since he hadn't seen them in a long time. Upon entering, he saw Tuchai talking to Ayam. They both seemed a little worried. Then Tuchai noticed a customer had entered, but he didn't see who it was. Tuchai, and tell me, what are you going to order? Naruto, an extra large ramen please, Tuchai-san. Upon hearing that voice, Tuchai looked at the person he was attending to and became very excited. Tuchai, Naruto, Ayam, come look who we have here. Ayam, but it's Naruto. Ayam went to hug Naruto since she hadn't seen him for days and they were already getting worried about the boy. Ayam, where were you? You had us very worried. Naruto, I'm sorry Ayam-san, Tuchai-san, it's just that I was in the hospital a few days ago feeling a bit unwell and I also met Koi, a hawk who's my best friend. Plus I got a house and I've been training a lot. Tuchai, and how are you? What happened to you? Why were you in the hospital? Naruto, well some villagers beat me up and left me badly injured and then Hiruzen, thanks to Koi, found me and took me to the hospital and then gave me a house to live in. Tuchai, well we're glad you're doing well Naruto. Come by every now and then, we like having you here. Naruto, okay I'll come around every now and then to eat. Then Tuchai gave Naruto his order and they started talking about many things until night fell. Naruto was about to leave when he felt Kurama enter him, telling him he could go home. Upon arriving home, he simply lay down, having eaten at Ikaraku. Koi went to his usual spot and Naruto dispelled the clones in the Forest of Death, fainting without a headache. Chapter 11. The narrator narrates. A month had passed since Naruto had started training with Kurama. He was now 13 years old and today was his first day at the Ninja Academy. But while he's there, let's tell you everything he did. Days 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. He mastered Taijutsu, climbed trees, mastered the first, second, and third levels of Fuinjutsu. Kurama had started adding 20 kilos of weights to his training, in addition to 200 laps, 300 squats, push-ups, and sit-ups. He also mastered target shooting with shurikens and kunai. Days 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and 15. He further trained his chakra control to be able to walk on water, and he was able to advance to the highest level of Taijutsu. He began training in sword skills where the Uzumaki clan excelled. He mastered the 4th, 5th, and 6th levels of Fuinjutsu, albeit very slowly, and he still hasn't mastered the 6th level. Kurama added 30 kilos to Naruto's weights and made him run 300 laps around the village and do 400 squats, sit-ups, and push-ups. He also trained more in tree climbing, but this time Kurama had to attack him. He was also able to perform slightly higher-level jutsu, but only a few, and he further improved his stamina and chakra control. On days 16, 17, 18, 19, and 30, he managed to master swordsmanship, but only up to level 2. In Fuinjutsu, he reached level 6, but that's as far as he got. He was able to walk on water. Kurama put 40 kilos of weights on him and ordered him to run 400 laps around the village, in addition to doing 300 squats, sit-ups, and push-ups. On the last day, he reviewed all the training and studied extensively, having already memorized the entire shinobi history. He also learned a little about medicine and poisons, but soon after, he took a well-deserved rest after all the training. Naruto had already arrived at the academy and saw a lot of kids his age, although some were a bit small, but he didn't pay any attention to it, so he went inside and started walking through the academy hallways until he reached his classroom. He entered, but there were only a few kids there since they hadn't arrived yet. Naruto was very cheerful and also very assertive. He started playing a lot of pranks on all the villagers, which made them even more annoyed with him, but he didn't care anymore. However, sometimes he was afraid they would hit him again like when he was a child, since he had nightmares about the orphanage or how he lived on the streets where he was constantly being hunted down to be beaten. But since he started training and living in a house, that didn't happen as much anymore, but he still got hit. He just didn't defend himself because he didn't want to hurt them, although Koi, his loyal friend, protected him. Naruto only had one scar that never went away, the scar that said demon, and he didn't like that at all, but he had to live with it forever. While Naruto waited for everyone to arrive, he started reading his book. While Koi was by his side, some people approached to see the hawk, but some civilians didn't come near because Naruto was there and they were afraid of him. Their parents had told them from a young age not to go near Naruto even though it hurt him. He didn't show it because he wanted his classmates to think he was cheerful and a good person, although that wouldn't happen for now. After waiting a while, the teacher arrived and upon seeing Naruto, glared at him with hatred. He had a scar on his nose, was dark-skinned with dark brown hair tied in a ponytail. Uruka, good morning students, my name is Uruka Umino and I will be your teacher for the entire. After that, classes began, which Naruto found very boring since he knew that, so he dozed off for a while. Uruka noticed this, and although he didn't care what the blonde-haired boy was doing, he scolded him, making Naruto wake up with a start. But what his classmates and teacher didn't know about him was that he wasn't sleeping well because of his nightmares. They also heard noises from the door as if someone wanted to open it, but they couldn't because Naruto had put 4 seals in place. The day was very boring until classes ended and everyone left. Naruto went home with Koi. When he arrived, he just made himself something to eat since it had gotten dark because he and Koi had been playing pranks on the villagers on their way there. Playing meant playing mean pranks on the villagers, which is why it had gotten dark. So Naruto prepared something to eat while Koi went hunting. A few hours passed, and they had finished eating, so they went to the room where Koi had settled on a bird plant that Naruto had bought her days before. The blonde boy lay down on his bed and then fell asleep. Chapter 12. The narrator narrates. Naruto Sr. had woken up very early again because of those nightmares, so knowing he wouldn't be able to fall back asleep, he got up and went to the kitchen to make himself breakfast, which consisted of toast with jam and tea. When he finished, he went to run 400 laps around the village with his 30 kilos as usual. After that, he started doing 300 sit-ups, squats, and push-ups at home. When he finished, he went to take a 10-minute shower and got dressed. Naruto, okay, I'm ready, Koi, shall we go? Koi, yes, otherwise we'll be late. Naruto, you're right. Naruto put something on his arm so Koi could stand there, but for now she started flying and Naruto started running across the rooftops with many perfect acrobatics until he reached the academy. Then he entered the classroom and sat in the same place as yesterday. Naruto, I'm so sleepy. Koi, are you still having those nightmares? Naruto, yes, here come my companions, let's stop talking. Koi, sure. Naruto's classmates started arriving, and after a few minutes, Uruka came. When he saw Naruto, he gave him the same look, but this time he noticed the dark circles under Naruto's eyes, which piqued his curiosity. Then class started as usual until recess arrived, but before Naruto left, Uruka called him over. Uruka, Naruto, wait, I want to talk to you. Naruto, look, if you want to call my parents about something I did, I'll tell you I'm an orphan and you can tell me. Uruka was impressed by what Naruto told him. Normally, Naruto didn't talk like that. He usually yelled or acted like a 5-year-old. But it seemed that when it came to something serious, he also became serious. Uruka, no, nothing like that, Naruto. I just want to ask you something. Naruto, and what does Uruka-sensei? Uruka, you're sleeping well because I can see your dark circles from here. Naruto, of course I'm sleeping well, Uruka-sensei. Why wouldn't I be? Naruto started looking around because he wasn't good at lying when it came to himself, so Uruka noticed. Uruka, Naruto, tell me the truth and don't lie, or I'll have to tell the Hokage since you're an orphan. Naruto, no, I mean no, it's just that I don't want to worry Hiruzen over things that aren't important. Uruka, you call the Hokage that? Naruto. Yes, since I was 5 years old he took care of me and gave me a house where I could sleep since I lived on the streets. Upon hearing that, Uruka was very impressed as he thought he still lived in an orphanage, but he was wrong. Naruto, he gave me everything I needed to be okay, he even took me to the hospital when it doesn't matter. Uruka, when did Naruto say that you needed the Hokage to take you to a hospital? Naruto, some villagers started chasing me a long time ago and I was cornered in an alley when they started beating me. They stabbed me 10 times, wrote demon on my back and crucified me on the alley wall. I usually heal really fast, but the scar with the word demon never went away. I think people are right that I'm a demon or I should die, or maybe I should never have existed. Uruka was shocked by what he heard as he never thought Naruto would experience that at 5 years old, let alone think about it. Uruka, no Naruto, when did you start living on the streets? Naruto remained silent for a moment, and Uruka was afraid to hear that he had only begun to live when he turned 5, so he prayed not to hear it. He didn't know why, but it hurt him to hear what had happened to Naruto. Naruto, when I turned 5, I was kicked out of the orphanage where a bunch of villagers were waiting for me at the exit. I remember that day I suffered like 2 broken ribs and many wounds until a very kind nurse found me in the trash. That night it was very cold and I had hypothermia, but the nurse healed me. Then I went to live in a dark alley where not many people passed by and I slept in a cardboard box. Uruka, without realizing it, started to cry, but just as he wanted to hug Naruto, the bell rang. The blonde-haired boy went to sit down, leaving Uruka deep in thought and wiping away his tears after listening to Naruto's story. After a whole class, it was finally time to go home, so Naruto ran off. When he arrived, he found the door destroyed because he had forgotten to put on the power seals. He went inside and saw everything in disarray, so he had to tidy up. He made lunch while Koi ate what he had hunted, and then they went to sleep since it was already night after cleaning the house and fixing the broken door. Chapter 13. The narrator narrates. Naruto was already at the academy with Koi by his side. Although Naruto had his eyes closed to talk to Kurama since he had a doubt about how they were going to release his bloodline, when Naruto lost his concentration because his classmates and Uruka had already arrived to start the class. Kurama, Gaki, you get distracted very easily. I think you'll have to train your concentration. Naruto, it's not my fault, Kurama. It's just that I get curious about anything I hear or see, so I get distracted very easily. Naruto began to pay attention to Uruka's class even though he was a little sleepy. A few hours passed and it was already recess, so Naruto went out to the courtyard where he saw a lot of boys playing. When he approached one of those groups, they just walked away from him, but he didn't give up, so he approached another group. Naruto, hi, can I play with you guys? Child 1, of course you're not a monster. Naruto, and how do you know that if you don't know me? Child 1, because our parents told us not to go near you, so there must be a reason. Naruto, his parents. Child 2, yes, but you wouldn't understand since you're a disgusting orphan whose parents probably abandoned you because they didn't want you. When Naruto heard that, he was filled with rage and was about to hit the boy when he heard Hiruzen's voice calling him. Hiruzen, let's see what they told Naruto. First of all, his parents died when the fox attacked the village. Second, Naruto may be an orphan, but he's kind. And don't listen to his parents, they don't know anything about him and they don't know Naruto. Okay kids, children, yes, please forgive us, Hokage-sama. Hiruzen, don't apologize to me, apologize to Naruto, who only wanted to play with you and you treated him badly. Children, we're sorry. Naruto, don't worry, it's not like it affects me, it doesn't really affect me. When the children left, Hiruzen hugged Naruto to comfort him and Naruto returned the hug. Naruto, why do they hate me? Hiruzen, they don't hate you, Naruto, just give them time and you'll see. Naruto said nothing, and even though he knew the reason for people's hatred, he still didn't understand why they treated him this way if Kurama was sealed inside him. After a while, the bell rang, but Hiruzen accompanied Naruto to his classroom since he wanted to talk to Uruka. When they arrived, they saw everyone seated until Uruka started the class. Uruka, where were you, Naruto? Class was about to start without you. Hiruzen, I'm sorry, Uruka, but can I take Naruto with me? Uruka, Hokage-sama, of course, but why? Hiruzen, it's about something extremely important, the one you know who. Uruka, I see, I understand. Then you can gladly take it. Uruka and Hiruzen were very serious about the Naruto situation, which piqued the curiosity of their classmates. Naruto, meanwhile, was somewhat nervous. Hiruzen then took Naruto and Koi aside as he didn't leave the blonde boy's side for a second when they were out of the house. Upon arriving at the Hokage Tower, Hiruzen sat down in his chair to look at Naruto, who was staring at him with a hint of nervousness. Hiruzen, Naruto, I heard you were taken to the hospital last time and you didn't tell me. Naruto, that happened a week ago, Hiruzen, hee. Besides, it wasn't serious enough for you to come. Hiruzen, 3 broken ribs, bruises all over your body, and very deep wounds, that's nothing serious to you. Naruto, well, when you put it that way, it sounds much worse than I thought. Hiruzen, look Naruto, I don't want anything to happen to you while I'm working, especially not attacks like that, so you have to warn me about these things. You're like a grandson to me and I'd hate myself if something happened to you because I wasn't with you. So will you tell me what he did? Naruto, I don't really remember. I only know that they covered my eyes with something and I could only hear their laughter, so I'd say it will be very difficult to find them. Hiruzen, I understand you want me to assign a ninja as your guardian, one I trust. Naruto, that's not necessary, Hiruzen. I'll be fine, don't worry. Without another word, Naruto went home since the academy would be over soon. When he arrived, he just sat on the sofa to rest a bit while Koi watched him from the small wooden table. Naruto, why are you looking at me like that? Koi, why are you sometimes good at lying and other times not? Naruto, what do you mean? Koi, how could you lie to the Hokage? You had seen those people's faces, so why didn't you tell him? Naruto, because they would be punished afterwards, and if that happened they would hate me even more, that's why I didn't tell them. Koi, I understand, but I still think you should tell him. Naruto said nothing and got up since it was getting dark, so he went to the kitchen to make himself a sandwich to eat later while Koi accompanied him since he hadn't been able to hunt anything. Then they went to the room, Naruto lay down on his bed and Koi on his branch and they fell asleep. Chapter 14. The narrator narrates. 10 days had passed since Naruto arrived at the academy. He had become friends with Shikamaru Nara, who was incredibly lazy but a very good friend. He also befriended Choji Akimichi, who was quite the glutton and disliked being called fat because it hurt his feelings. He also got along well with Shino Aburame, who wasn't very talkative and was a bit odd when it came to socializing, always surrounded by his insects. Naruto didn't mind. In fact, he thought it was cool that he talked to insects, even though Koi sometimes wanted to eat them. He had also grown closer to Uruka, sometimes going to Ikaraku for ramen and also hanging out with Chuchai and Iame. He had a lot of fun with Hiruzen, who occasionally played pranks on him to make him laugh at his antics before he changed completely, as Kurama had told him he would change a lot, including his attitude. He sometimes talked to Sasuke, but Sasuke was often busy training, which Naruto understood perfectly. Koi was sometimes jealous. Since he didn't want Naruto to have too many friends for fear that he would forget him, he didn't let them get too close, just a little. Kurama and Naruto got along very well. Sometimes Naruto would call Kurama brother, and that made him happy. But now let's go to the present where Naruto was talking with Shikamaru and Choji while Koi was on Naruto's arm. Shikamaru, and are you going to tell us why you talked to that hawk so much? Naruto had never told them that he could talk to animals, since after talking to Koi he spoke to other animals who, like the hawk, were impressed that Naruto understood them, but well, Naruto didn't know whether to tell them about it or not. Naruto, if I tell you, do you promise not to laugh or tell anyone? Shikamaru, how troublesome, of course we promise, now tell us. Naruto, I've been able to talk to animals since I was 5 years old. Choji, seriously, Naruto, yes, and I can understand them. Choji, so you understand what Akamaru, Kiba's dog, is saying. Naruto, yeah, sometimes I talked to him when Kiba went to the bathroom. Shikamaru, is it a bloodline? Naruto, I don't think so, I think it's more of a skill that maybe some people can have. Shikamaru, you might be right. Anyway, how many animals have you talked to so far? Naruto, well, with Koi, Akamaru, a fish, a mouse, a cat, and a bear that was chasing me for having run out of fences. Choji, how great would it be to know what your pets are saying and not have to guess what they really want? Naruto, yeah, but sometimes the animals of the night start screaming or talking so loudly you can't sleep. That's the downside of having this ability. They started talking about other things until the bell rang for class to resume. They went to the classroom and sat in their seats to wait for Uruka, who arrived after a very long class that seemed to drag on forever. The bell rang for dismissal and Naruto left. But on his way home, some villagers saw him, approached him, and began beating him, stabbing him in the stomach with a knife before leaving him on the ground. Koi was already worried, so he went to call Hiruzen, who, upon seeing Naruto, took him to the hospital where he was treated. But because Naruto had rapid regeneration thanks to Kurama, he was discharged and went home. Hiruzen kept asking him what had happened on the way, and Koi was flying above them. When they arrived home, Naruto sat on the couch to look at Hiruzen. Naruto, Hiruzen, it was the villagers again. Hiruzen, I swear I will punish them for doing that. Who were they? Naruto, they were the 3 men who work at the blacksmith shop nearby. Hiruzen, thank you Naruto for telling me. Hiruzen then left, leaving Naruto deep in thought until he felt hungry. So he got up from the couch and started cooking while Koi ate something she had hunted. When Naruto entered the house, they began to eat peacefully. After they finished eating, Naruto went to wash the plate he had used for his food. Then he went to his room where Koi was already on her branch. Naruto lay down on his bed, staring at the ceiling and thinking about those villagers who were going to be punished by Hiruzen. He didn't want them to be punished, but now he couldn't do anything about it. Naruto, Kurama, big brother, do you think it was a good idea to tell Hiruzen the truth? Kurama, of course, otherwise those villagers would have continued to hurt you, kid. Naruto, I think you're right, good night. Kurama's rest well, kid. Naruto looked out the window at the beautiful moon that night, then settled into his bed and slowly closed his eyes until he fell into a deep sleep. Chapter 15. The narrator narrates. We came across a blonde-haired boy talking to his friends when Uruka approached them to take Naruto away. Naruto, what's wrong, Uruka-sensei? Uruka, I heard that some villagers beat you up and left you badly injured, is that true? Naruto, well, I didn't want you to worry, so I didn't tell you today, but I heard it from someone. I guess there's nothing I can do but tell you it was true. Uruka, are you okay? Naruto, yes, I actually healed quickly, so they discharged me that same day, although the stab wound I received hurt. Uruka, you were stabbed. Naruto, yes, but I'm fine now. Uruka-sensei, look at me if you want. Uruka lifted Naruto's shirt, noticing the demon scar he had since that day, but there was nothing there, so he let him go back to his friends. Shikamaru, why did Uruka-sensei call you? Naruto, he was trying to tell me I need to catch up on my studies, but studying is so boring. Shikamaru, how troublesome. Then they started laughing about it, since for Shikamaru everything was problematic or simply annoying, until the bell rang for class. They went inside, sat in their seats, and after a while Uruka and Mizuki arrived since they were going to have some tests that day. Uruka, well, as you can see, today we're going to do a stamina test, target practice, and then we're going to have a mini-fight between the boys and girls. In addition, I'll give you a written exam on the shinobi history you're studying. Then Mizuki handed out the exams to everyone, but she put a spell on Naruto's exam to make him fail. Naruto saw it, removed it, and started his exam, finishing it along with everyone else so as not to draw too much attention. Afterward, they went outside the academy where Uruka told them to start throwing kunai and shuriken at targets. Naruto did some of the throwing since he didn't want to stand out. Then the sparring matches began and Naruto was paired with Kiba and Akamaru. They stood in the circle and Koi joined him next to Naruto. Kiba, are you ready, Akamaru? Akamaru, woof woof woof, I'm always ready. Naruto, okay, shall we begin, Koi? Koi, of course. Naruto waited for Kiba to start attacking, but it was Akamaru who ran towards them, but Koi began attacking him with his sharp claws. Naruto, well, I think it's just you and me, Kiba. What do you say we have a really good fight? Kiba, just shut up, you earned it without even trying. Kiba then ran towards Naruto, who dodged the blow and punched him in the stomach, but Mizuki stopped the fight. Mizuki, wait, Naruto, can't you use someone else in the fight? Naruto, why not? Mizuki, because that's cheating. Naruto, okay, Koi, get out of the fight. Koi didn't want to leave, but in the end she did, leaving Kiba with Akamaru. Uruka was about to say something when Naruto said he didn't care. Then Kiba attacked from one side and Akamaru from the other, but Naruto dodged them by jumping up, then did a half-turn to land on his feet. Naruto, this will be a little difficult. Then Kiba attacked again with Akamaru, using an Inuzuka clan technique called Fang over Fang. They created two tornadoes that hurtled toward Naruto, who was helpless to defend himself. They ended up discarding his shirt, revealing the scar and wounds inflicted by Kiba and Akamaru. Everyone was impressed, as Naruto had a scar that red demon. But what they saw next left them in shock. Kiba accidentally pierced Naruto's shoulder with a kunai. Uruka rushed to Naruto's side. Uruka, Naruto, are you alright? Naruto, yes, Uruka-sensei, I'm fine. I've suffered worse injuries than this, so this is nothing. Uruka, Kiba, since weapons weren't allowed in the fight, you're disqualified, so Naruto is the winner. Just then, Naruto's wound began to heal, which surprised Uruka a little. Afterward, Naruto went to change his clothes and had to leave since Uruka wanted him to rest because his wound was still healing. When Naruto entered his house, he sat on the couch to rest for a while. An hour passed, during which Naruto fell asleep, so he woke up and went to the kitchen where he made himself something to eat. When he finished, Koi arrived with her food, so she started eating it while Naruto went to his room. After a while, Koi went to her room to go to sleep on her branch, and then Naruto followed her. Chapter 16. The narrator narrates. Naruto woke up again with that nightmare where the villagers killed him, so he got up to go to the bathroom for a 15-minute shower. Then he went to the kitchen to have breakfast, since before going into the bathroom he had created a clone to make his breakfast. When he finished, he left with a half-asleep Koi on his arm. When he arrived at the classroom, he sat in his usual place when Kiba and Akamaru came in, but when they saw Naruto, they approached him. Kiba, hey Naruto, how's your wound? Naruto, good, he's healed now. Kiba, I'm so sorry, hurting you wasn't my intention at the time. Naruto, don't worry Kiba, you just acted without thinking, it happens to everyone. Akamaru, woof 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 woof, I'm sorry for hurting you too Naruto, it wasn't my intention either. Naruto, Akamaru, you don't need to apologize, I'm fine and besides the wound is already healed. Kiba, wait Naruto, do you understand what Akamaru is saying? Naruto, well if otherwise, how would I talk to Koi? Kiba, but how Naruto, I don't know, I think it's a skill I was born with or I don't know. Kiba, well that's pretty impressive since we in Inuzuka can understand dogs but oh well hee. They started talking a bit, along with Naruto's other friends, until Uruka arrived to start class. After a few hours of class, the bell rang for recess. Naruto went to the courtyard and climbed the tree where there was a swing with Koi. But then he got bored, so he decided to make a clone. He put on a black cloak with a hood and told it to paint the Hokage faces while he went to class. Naruto's clone left to do what he said while Koi watched. Naruto, why are you looking at me like that? Koi, nothing, it's just that I'm curious to know why you didn't just go and do it yourself. Naruto, well, because I want them to be confused. When my clone starts running from them, when it senses they're about to catch it, it will disappear. And when they come to the academy to see if I'm there, they'll see me sitting in class and then they won't know who did it. Now do you understand? Koi, yes, very good idea, although I don't understand why you don't use it on the villagers who hit you. Naruto, why start asking for help from ninjas who hate me? That's what I don't want. Remember the last time I tried, they beat me so badly it hurt so much it stopped me for about 10 days. Koi, if I remember correctly, Hiruzen was very angry with them. Then the bell rang for class, so they went into the classroom to start Uruka's lesson on shinobi history again. After a few minutes, two Anbu came in and started looking around to see if Naruto was there, since he often made jokes like that. They were surprised to see him there, so they left, leaving the whole class confused except for Naruto, who had a foxy grin that he covered with his arm since he put his head on the desk to pretend he was asleep. After all that, classes ended and Naruto went home. When he got there, he just sat on the couch while he sent a clone to make tea. Hours passed and Naruto was already bored. He looked at Koi, who was asleep, so he entered his mindscape. Naruto's mind. Naruto, hey Kurama, when will I be able to completely free you? Kurama, when you can withstand my full power. Naruto, okay, so that would take some time, right? Kurama, yes, but when you can control your Uzumaki blood, then you can free me. Naruto, I understand, then it's just a matter of time. And would anything happen if I released you completely? Kurama, I honestly don't know, kid, since none of my Jinchuriki have released me. Naruto, so I would be the first to do it. Kurama, yes. Naruto sat down on the grass. A week ago, he had learned to change his mental landscape, but in one part it was night so he could see the moon, and in the part that was day, the sun was visible. It seemed strange, but that had to do with how Naruto sometimes thought. That's just how mental space works. That's what it was like during the day. And so the one at night. After talking a lot with Kurama, Naruto left his mental space to find that it was already night. So he got up from the couch to go to the kitchen to make himself some food, where Koi had already returned from hunting. Naruto, when did you leave? Koi, I told you before I left, but you were so lost in your thoughts that you didn't hear me. Naruto, I'm sorry, I was just talking to Kurama about something very important regarding how we're going to free him, but to do that I have to control his power. Koi, I understand. After preparing his meal, Naruto sat down at the table to begin eating, accompanied by Koi, who had also started eating. After finishing his meal, Naruto went to wash the dishes and then went to his room, where Koi sat on a branch and fell asleep. Naruto lay down on his bed until he fell asleep. Chapter 17. The narrator narrates. Naruto was in history class with Uruka until the bell rang. So, as usual, everyone was about to go to the courtyard until Naruto heard Shino calling him. Naruto, Shino, what's wrong? Shino, the guys want us to go to lunch at the place where we practice target shooting. Do you want to come? Naruto, of course. Shino, Naruto, and Koi went to where they were being waited for. When they arrived, they saw the boys waiting for them sitting in a circle. There were 2 places for them, so they sat down. Naruto, hey guys, Chaoji, hey Naruto, what happened? Why didn't you come with us? Naruto, sorry, I forgot. Kiba, well, that doesn't matter anymore, right, Akamaru? Akamaru, wow, yes. Naruto, well, what did you bring to eat? Because I brought some ramen and Koi, well, a fish. Shino, I brought the rice balls with me. Shikamaru, I brought some dangos. Chaoji, I brought rice balls, dangos, and a small bag of chips, although I wanted to bring something else but they wouldn't let me. Kiba, I brought some meat for Akamaru and some curry rice and meat for myself. After that, they started eating while chatting animatedly. When they finished, the bell rang for class, so they left and went back to the classroom. Upon arriving, they simply sat in their seats waiting for Uruka, but Naruto was playing with Koi, throwing papers the farthest until one hit Uruka. This made him pick up the papers that were already on the floor, which Naruto did through gritted teeth. After class ended, everyone went home, but Naruto went to the Forest of Death since he now knew the entire place like the back of his hand. Upon arriving at his training grounds, Kurama in his baby form appeared among many others. Kurama, okay Naruto, you know what you have to do, but now we're going to add more weights, understand? Naruto, yes Kurama-sensei. Kurama, you will gain 50 kilos, run 600 laps around the entire village, then do 500 push-ups, squats, and sit-ups. You will also create 10 clones to practice concentration, and some of them will practice how to develop quick and precise strategies for the problems they will face. Naruto, okay, one more thing, Kurama-sensei. Kurama, yes, after you finish that you'll have to endure physical and psychological pain so you know when you're under a genjutsu so you can recognize it faster. Naruto, good. Naruto created the 10 clones, then put on the 50 kilos weight and started jogging around the village, completing 600 laps. After finishing, he did 500 push-ups, squats, and sit-ups as Kurama had instructed. Once he finished, the torture for Naruto began as Kurama started sending him very strong attacks, leaving him with some minor traumas that would heal quickly. When all that was over, Kurama approached Naruto. Kurama, Naruto, what I want you to do now is take off the weights. Naruto, why? Kurama, so that you get used to the speed you have now and also master it well. Naruto took off his weights and felt light, but when he tried to run at his normal speed, he was surprised to find he was even faster than he thought possible. He understood what Kurama had meant, as running without crashing into trees was now a bit of a challenge. Hours passed, and Naruto finally managed to control his speed, though not by much, but it was something. So he put his weights back on and went home. Upon arriving, Kurama entered his body while Naruto dispelled the clones, receiving the information so he could concentrate without hearing any noise around him. After making his lunch, since he had arrived a little late, he spent some time joking around with Koi as usual. Once he finished cooking, he sat down with the food on the table, as did Koi, and they began to eat. After finishing, Naruto got up to wash the plate he had used, then went to sit on the couch to read more of the Fuinjutsu scroll so he could learn more new seals. After 30 minutes of reading the scroll, he went to the bathroom to take a 15-minute shower. When he came out, Naruto had put on his ramen-themed pajamas and his panda hat, which made him look cute. Then he went to lie down on his bed while Koi was already asleep. Naruto looked at the moon for a while, then looked at Koi, who was asleep, and then stared at the ceiling for several minutes until he fell into a deep sleep. Chapter 18. The narrator narrates. A week had passed and Naruto had gotten to know his classmates a little better, even falling for Sakura Haruno, a bubblegum-haired girl who was very loud, flat-chested, and a huge fan of Sasuke Uchiha, the last survivor of his clan. He was a bit emo, didn't talk much, was the best at everything, or so everyone thought, and a little arrogant. Then there was Ino Yamanaka. He didn't really talk to her much, only occasionally, since she was also a Sasuke fan. Hinata Hyuga was a shy girl with some people, but once you got to know her better, she could be very nice, although they only spoke sometimes. Well, those were the almost friendships and other ones Naruto made this week. But let's go to the present, where Naruto was listening to Iruka say something very important. Iruka, well guys, as you know, we've done a lot of things these past few days besides making friends, but tomorrow is the exam day where you can become real ninjas, so I ask that you don't miss class tomorrow, okay? Everyone, yes. Iruka, well, you can all go home now, you can leave early today. After saying that, all the boys left, leaving only Naruto, Koi, and Iruka alone. Iruka, what's wrong, Naruto? Naruto, well, I thought we could go eat at Ikaraku. What do you say, Iruka-sensei? Iruka, well then, what are we waiting for? Iruka, Naruto, and Koi left the academy heading to Ikaraku Ramen. When they arrived, they saw Tyuche but not Iame. Naruto, hello Tyuche-san. Tyuche, Iruka, Naruto, Koi, hello, it's been a long time. Iruka, hello Tyuche-san. Naruto, and where is Iame-san? Tyuche went to get some ingredients that were running out. Naruto, okay. Tyuche, and what can I get you? Naruto, me the usual. Iruka, the same as Naruto. Tyuche, okay, 2 bowls of ramen with extra pork on the way. Koi went to hunt for something to eat while Iruka and Naruto waited for their order. To pass the time, they started talking about many things. When the ramen was ready, Tyuche handed it to Naruto and Iruka and they began to eat. After finishing, they paid and left. Naruto was walking when he saw Koi, so he offered him his arm for support. After walking a short distance, Naruto arrived at the Forest of Death, where he went to the place where he always trained with Kurama. Naruto, okay, I'm ready to train Kurama. What should I do? Kurama, what you're going to do is put 60 kilos on your weights, run 700 laps around the village, then do 500 squats, sit-ups, push-ups, and sit-ups, okay? Naruto, good. Naruto put on 60 kilos of weights and started running 700 laps around the village, which took an hour. Then he did 500 squats, sit-ups, push-ups, and sit-ups, which he also finished in an hour. After that, he approached Kurama. Naruto, I'm done, now what do I do? Kurama, we'll begin training again with your ninjutsu and taijutsu so you can create your own stuff. Naruto, good. Naruto created 200 clones of himself, which then split in half. One trained in taijutsu, the other in ninjutsu, and the original Naruto stayed by Kurama's side. Naruto, I'll let my clones do it. Kurama, okay then study Fuinjutsu more, you still have a lot to learn about it. Naruto, yes. Naruto took out a scroll and began to read about Fuinjutsu, but then he remembered something Kurama had told him earlier. Naruto, hey Kurama, when are you going to give me that sword you told me about? Kurama, that's right, I had forgotten that I had to give it to you. Kurama began making hand seals, then touched the floor where a cloud of smoke appeared. When it dissipated, the sword could be seen. Kurama, be very careful, kid, because this sword can be very dangerous for someone who isn't worthy of wielding it. Naruto, and why is it so dangerous? Kurama, This sword you see here feeds on your hatred, but if you have too much, you won't be able to lift it. You must have both hatred and peace for it to accept you. Naruto, I understand. Naruto took the sword where it began to glow with a black and red light. Kurama, it seems I accept you. Naruto, really? Kurama, now only you can use it. If someone else wants to use it, they won't be able to because it will be too heavy for them. Naruto, awesome. Kurama, well, that's all for today, kid, but tomorrow you'll start training your sword powers. Naruto, what does he have powers? Kurama, of course he has them, you'll just have to learn how to use them and become one with the sword. Naruto, this is really cool, isn't it, Koi? Koi, too much, I'd say. After that, Naruto wrapped the sword in a scroll, just like all the other scrolls he had. Then Kurama entered Naruto again and he began to leave the forest of death. When he reached the streets, he started walking, but the villagers looked at him with hatred and contempt. Naruto learned to ignore them. When he got home, he put his things in a drawer in his room and went to the kitchen to make himself some food while Koi went to hunt for his dinner. When Naruto's food was ready, he put it on the table and started eating. After a while, Koi came back with his food. When they finished eating, Naruto washed his plate and went to the bathroom for a 15-minute shower. He came out wearing his pajamas and his panda hat and saw Koi already asleep on his branch. So he lay down on his bed and got comfortable. He looked for a while at the beautiful moon and the stars that accompanied it before falling into a deep sleep. Chapter 19. Narrates Naruto. I was already awake, having a peaceful breakfast with Koi by my side when it was time to go to the academy. So I left my house with Koi on my arm, but then she started flying, so I ran across the rooftops. When I got to the academy, I went into the classroom, sat in my seat, and Koi sat next to me. Koi, Uruka will arrive any minute now. Naruto, yes. After waiting a while, Uruka-sensei arrived and began explaining the exam. I didn't pay much attention to his speech, focusing instead on the most important parts. Then he started calling people while I was talking with my friends, but then it was my turn, so I went with Uruka-sensei to another room where Mizuki-sensei was. I thought he was a good person, although I didn't talk to him much, but oh well. Uruka, okay, Naruto, start by making clones. Naruto, okay. I placed my 2 fingers in a cross to then concentrate chakra. Naruto Keiji Bunsa Chayan no Jutsu. From there came 10 perfect clones of me. To be honest, I didn't know how many clones I had to make, so I made only a few. Then I saw Uruka-sensei and Mizuki-sensei who were surprised. To be honest, I don't know, but oh well. Uruka, Naruto, you made 10 clones of yourself, but they're not just illusions, they're solid clones, very good work. Naruto, thank you, Uruka-sensei. Mizuki, you did it, Naruto. Congratulations. Naruto, thanks, Mizuki-sensei. I don't really know, but instead of saying a normal congratulations to Mizuki-sensei, it was like he muttered it under his breath. I don't know, maybe it was my imagination. Anyway, I left the classroom and went with my friends to start the next test, which was target shooting. I had already passed the written tests with a good grade. We went out to the courtyard where I waited for my turn. Mizuki-sensei wanted to give me the kunai and shuriken, but I told him I didn't need them since I had brought my own. So I gave them to everyone. Well, I didn't give one person a hand, but oh well. Then the others started going up. When they were all finished, the fights began. Honestly, my friends' fights were great, but the ones with the civilians weren't as entertaining. Anyway, then it was my turn, but with Sasuke. What saddened me the most was hearing Sakura cheering for Sasuke instead of me, but I acted like it didn't bother me. I went to the circle where I had to fight with Sasuke, told Koi not to get involved in the fight because I don't want him to get hurt. Uruka, are you ready? Naruto/Sasuke, see. Uruka, fight. When Uruka said that, I got into my clan's fighting stance, which many didn't understand since nobody knows about my clan anymore, but I didn't care. Sasuke stayed there too in his clan's fighting stance. Neither of us moved until I heard Kurama talking to me. Naruto, what's wrong, Kurama-sensei? Kurama, that Uchiha brat clearly didn't train his clan's fighting stance very well since he's very young and his clan was massacred, so they didn't teach him. Look at him closely and you'll see he makes some mistakes that aren't very noticeable to beginners. Naruto, okay, thanks Kurama-sensei for the information. Kurama, you're welcome, kid, now teach that Uchiha brat a lesson. Naruto, The narrator narrates. Naruto watched Sasuke until he shifted slightly, leaving a weak point in his stance. Naruto went for it with a kick that Sasuke was about to block, but then Naruto switched it to a punch that went straight for Sasuke's face. Sasuke had to back away, but he still managed to land a blow. Sasuke, but what? Naruto went towards Sasuke again, but Sasuke parried him, which Naruto easily blocked. Sasuke then stepped back to create some distance, but Naruto wouldn't allow it, so he swept Sasuke's feet, sending him to the ground. Naruto then immobilized Sasuke so he couldn't move. Naruto, Reindeet Sasuke, you're already defeated. Sasuke, I won't. Then Sasuke's fans started booing Naruto, saying he was cheating, but he wasn't. Uruka, seeing that Sasuke couldn't break free from Naruto's grip, decided to end the fight. Uruka, since Sasuke can't break free, Naruto is the winner. When Naruto heard that, he let go of Sasuke, who was glaring at him with hatred. That upset Naruto, but he wasn't going to show it. Sakura, it can't be that Naruto, that idiot one. Uroka-sensei cheated. Upon hearing that, Naruto became upset, but Uroka told Sakura that he had never cheated. After all the commotion from Sasuke's fans, Uroka gave the ninja headbands only to a few who had passed by. Then everyone gathered so that Uroka could say something to them. Uroka, well, those who already have their ninja headbands will have to come to the academy first thing tomorrow morning, while the others who weren't so lucky will have to come next week to graduate. And well, those who are coming tomorrow, you absolutely have to come because we're going to put you in groups. Well, you can go home now. When Naruto heard that, he left with Koi. When they arrived, they just started eating since Naruto was tired because they had also spent the day playing pranks on the villagers. So it was night when they finished eating. Naruto and Koi went to the room where Naruto lay down on his bed and Koi sat on her branch. Naruto, good night. Koi, good nights. After saying that, they both fell into a deep sleep as they would have to get up early tomorrow. Chapter 20. Naruto narrates. I was taking a 15-minute shower. When I got out, I put on my usual clothes and went to have breakfast since my clone was making it. I sat down in the chair and then ate my breakfast. Meanwhile, Koi was a little down, so I finished my breakfast and then went over to him. Naruto, Koi, what's up, buddy? Koi, I don't feel very well, Naruto. Naruto, what do you mean you're not feeling well? Koi, I think what I ate yesterday didn't agree with me. Can you go to the academy by yourself? Naruto, sure, Koi, but rest. I'll leave a clone to look after you so you're not alone, okay? Koi, yes, thank you, Naruto, you're a good friend. Naruto, you're welcome, now just rest. I created a shadow clone to look after Koi while I went to the academy. When I arrived, I saw my friends waiting for me. Naruto, hey guys. Shikamaru, hello Naruto. Chaoji, hello, I think we should go in now or we'll be late. Kiba, now that you mention it, you're right. We went to the classroom to hear which teams we would be on, but I was worried about Koi. Even though I know a clone is looking after him, I'm still worried because I'm not there. Anyway, Uroka started announcing the teams. Uroka, Team 7, they will be Naruto, Uzumaki, Sakura, Haruna. When I heard that, on one hand I was happy, but on the other hand I wasn't because I saw Sakura grieving and that made me sad. Uroka, and Sasuke Uchiha, his Jouni-sensei, will be Kakashi headache. After that, Sakura was very happy, which made me feel even worse, but I pretended not to. Then Uroka-sensei announced the remaining teams and finally all the senseis arrived to leave. My team and I continued waiting until I got tired of waiting. I got up from my seat, went to the door, and placed the blackboard eraser above it. Then I returned to my seat and waited for our sensei to arrive. After waiting a while longer, we heard the door open, and the eraser I had placed there fell on a man with silver hair. His mouth was covered up to his nose, and his eye was covered by his ninja headband. He was wearing a green Jouni vest, navy blue pants, and navy blue ninja sandals. Kakashi, how do I explain this to you? You're a bunch of idiots. The narrator narrates. Everyone had a depressed aura because of what Kakashi had told them, although he had already gone to the terrace, while later Team 7 also left. When they arrived, they sat down like this, Sasuke in the middle, Naruto on the left, and Sakura on the right, while Kakashi was in front of them leaning on the railing. Kakashi, okay, why don't we start introducing ourselves? Sakura, and how would that work? Kakashi, feet telling you what you like, dislike, hobbies and dreams, that kind of thing. Sakura, and why don't you start? Kakashi, me. My name is Kakashi Hadake. What I like and dislike, I don't want to tell you my hobbies, well, I have many. And my dreams, I've never thought about that. Now you blondie. Naruto, I'm Naruto Uzumaki. What I like is training with Kurama-sensei, being with my best friend Koi, and eating ramen. Uroka-sensei always takes me to eat at Ikaraku. What I dislike is people judging others without knowing them when my friends get beaten up and waiting for the ramen to be ready. My hobbies are trying different kinds of ramen, training, and my dreams are, I think, seeing my family someday and becoming Hokage, so people will respect me and treat me like someone important. Kakashi, okay, now you, the one with pink hair. Sakura, my name is Sakura Haruno, and what I like, the boy I like, she looks at Sasuke and screams. My hobbies are she looks at Sasuke again and screams. And my dreams for the future are KYA. Kakashi, and what do you dislike? Sakura, Naruto. Upon hearing that, Naruto became sad, so he looked away so no one would notice, but Kakashi had already noticed before everyone else. Kakashi, now you, the black-haired one. Sasuke, my name is Sasuke Uchiha. I don't like almost anything and many things disgust me. What I have isn't a dream because it will come true. I'm going to restore my clan and destroy someone specific. Kakashi, okay, tomorrow at 7 a.m. at training ground number 3, and don't eat breakfast if you don't want to throw up. Well, goodbye. After that, everyone left. When Naruto got home, he went to check on Koi, who was sitting on the couch while the clone watched him from the kitchen. Naruto, I'm here, Koi, how are you feeling? Koi, better than in the morning. Naruto, I'm glad it's nothing serious because I wouldn't want anything to happen to you. Koi, well, I think that would be almost impossible since you'll take care of me when I'm sick just like I take care of you. Naruto, hee, I think you're right. Koi, and how did it go? Naruto, well, I'm on Team 7. My sensei is Kakashi Hadake, one of my father's students who I think is still alive, and my teammates are Sakura and Sasuke. Also, tomorrow at 7 I have to go to training ground 3 and I don't have to eat breakfast. Koi, well, what if you eat breakfast just in case? Remember that if you don't eat breakfast you'll get grumpy and weak, because even though you're eating during these days you need to keep eating so you don't faint. Remember that you never ate well before you had an apartment. Naruto, yes, I think that will be best. After talking for a long time, hours passed and it was time to eat, so Koi and Naruto sat down at the table. When they finished, Naruto's clone washed the dishes while Koi and Naruto went to sleep. Once they were in bed, Naruto dissolved the clone and fell asleep. Chapter 21. The narrator narrates. Naruto was already taking a bath since he had woken up very early. After getting out of the bath, he decided to change his clothes, but just then Kurama spoke to him. Naruto, what's wrong? Kurama, kid, do you want me to release some of your blood now or later? Naruto, well, if you can now. Kurama, kid, then we'll do it now, but stay lying down for a while, believe it or not, it'll hurt. Naruto, okay. Naruto lay down on the bed, his hair still wet, a towel around his waist. He closed his eyes and waited for Kurama to release some of his bloodline. After a few minutes, Naruto began to feel a pain throughout his body, letting out a blood-curdling scream that startled Koi, who rushed to see what was wrong. After a few more minutes, the pain subsided, but only slightly. He then went to make himself breakfast as he was running a little late. He changed into this outfit and placed a scroll behind him. Then he packed some stamped papers, though some were blank, and his sword, which he kept in a seal on his wrist. He then packed the other things in his kunai pouch. When he left his house with Koi, they went to training ground number 3 as Kakashi had told him, but he was a little late. Before arriving, he stopped because he began to sense many presences everywhere. Naruto, Kurama, what is this feeling I have now? Kurama, well, those are your sensory abilities, kid. It's common among Uzumakis, so relax. Now you can sense the presence of everyone around you. Naruto, that's awesome. After that, Naruto continued on his way, knowing that Kakashi hadn't arrived yet and there were only 2 chakra signatures there. When he arrived, he saw Sakura and Sasuke waiting, starving, so Naruto approached them very cheerfully. Naruto, hey guys, Sakura, you're late. Naruto, I don't think so, Sakurachin, I don't see Kakashi-sensei around here. Do you? Naruto narrates. What just happened to me? I'm not like this. Wait, Kurama said I was going to change a little, but not so much in my appearance. Maybe he meant my attitude, and that's what's happening to me now, although now that I think about it, I'm smarter than I actually am anyway. We waited for Kakashi-sensei for many more hours until I finally sensed him. He was here, so I stood up discreetly and pretended to start stretching. Then Kakashi-sensei appeared and my teammates stood up too. Kakashi, hello. Sakura/Naruto, you're late. Kakashi, I'm sorry I got lost along the way anyway. Let's start by explaining this test. Kakashi began explaining what they had to do before the exam began. Naruto and his team went to hide, but Naruto created a clone to distract Kakashi so he could make a plan. Naruto, Kurama, do you know what this exam is about? Kurama, Gaki, think a little about why he told them that. Naruto, because he wants us to separate so he can defeat us faster. After that, Naruto emerged from his hiding place to attack Kakashi from behind, but first he created more clones to help him. When he caught him, Naruto called out to his teammates for help, but no one came forward. When Naruto couldn't hold on any longer, Kakashi broke free to look at Naruto for a few seconds. Kakashi, it seems your team doesn't want to help you. Naruto, no, I know they're making a plan to help me. Kakashi, what if they're not doing it? Naruto, they're doing it because this exam is about teamwork, right? Kakashi, he understood it very quickly. Now all that remains is for his teammates to understand it. While Kakashi was thinking, Naruto took advantage of that to pull out a bell, but when he touched it just a little, Kakashi jumped away from him to gain some distance. Naruto, Kakashi-sensei seems to have lost focus a little, doesn't he? Kakashi, yes, but that's not going to happen again. After that, Naruto ran towards Kakashi, who was waiting for him. Suddenly, Naruto swept Kakashi's feet, and Kakashi jumped to avoid being knocked down. Naruto quickly got back to his feet and punched Kakashi in the stomach. Kakashi was then dragged about 10 meters. He looked at Naruto, who was smiling. Kakashi ran towards Naruto, but a serious fight ensued, as Naruto had proven that he couldn't be underestimated just by his appearance. Naruto created a clone that took Kakashi's blow. Naruto used this opportunity to hide again and plan a way to defeat Kakashi. Seeing him leave, Sasuke took advantage of the moment to attack Kakashi with a shuriken. Seeing that it was dodged, he left his hiding place. Meanwhile, Sakura also left her hiding place to see where Sasuke had gone, but at that moment she encountered Kakashi, who had put her under a genjutsu. Sakura was knocked unconscious, but someone had heard her scream and he went to see what was happening, and it was Naruto who was worried. When he arrived, he saw Sakura lying unconscious on the ground, but he sensed Kakashi nearby, so he decided to go protect her. When he got to where Sakura was, he began to gently move her and she then began to wake up. Naruto, Sakura, are you okay? Tell me what happened. Sakura, there's nothing, just leave me alone, I need to go see how Sasuke-kun is. At that moment, Sakura stood up, leaving Naruto a little hurt by what she said. Kakashi, however, had seen this and was somewhat disappointed in his student, who was only concerned about someone who wasn't paying attention to her. Meanwhile, his other teammate went to check on her, but then saw that Naruto was watching him. Hello, Kakashi-sensei. Chapter 22, Hello, Kakashi-sensei. The narrator narrates. Naruto was behind Kakashi, whose eyes were wide open from how fast he'd been, but he looked back at where Naruto had been and saw that he was just a clone since he dissolved afterward. Kakashi, I think I should be very careful with you, even though they said you didn't show many hidden talents and only knew the basics. Naruto, well, I think those people who told you that were wrong. Then Naruto tried to hit Kakashi, but Kakashi blocked the blow and then punched Naruto in the stomach, sending him flying several meters. Naruto spat out some saliva from the impact, but he managed to land on his feet. He looked around and hid in a tree to wait for Kakashi, who was approaching where he had landed. When he arrived, Naruto observed Kakashi's movements and immediately began copying his actions, which greatly surprised Kakashi, who watched him mimic his every move. Kakashi, how can you copy my movements? Naruto, I'll leave that to my Kakashi-sensei, but now that I know your fighting style, it will be easier for me to follow your lead. Then Naruto ran towards Kakashi, who had moved slightly to the right. Naruto moved at the last moment as Kakashi's fist approached his face, then kicked him in the ribs, sending Kakashi crashing into a tree and breaking it. Kakashi then emerged from where he had been and reappeared behind Naruto, who dodged Kakashi's attack. Naruto, GYS, can you come help me? But nothing happened. Kakashi was looking a little disappointed by his two students who weren't helping Naruto get the bells, but then Sasuke came out of hiding and created a fireball that was heading towards him and also towards Naruto. Kakashi grabbed Naruto to pull him out of the area. Sasuke then tried to hit Kakashi, who had Naruto on his shoulder, but the blonde boy broke free and stood next to Sasuke. When he tried to attack Kakashi, Sasuke attacked him instead. Sasuke, Dobi, don't interfere in my fight. Naruto, what? Then Sasuke started trying to attack Naruto, and Kakashi, seeing this, went to separate them by putting himself between them. Naruto, what's wrong with you, Sasuke? We have to fight Kakashi-sensei together, not you with me. Kakashi, Naruto's right, attacking your teammate won't help you in a 2-on-1 fight, Sasuke, but well, time's running out, so you need to hurry so you can get a bell out of me. After that, Kakashi disappeared, leaving Sasuke and Naruto staring at each other. Then Sasuke left and Naruto, who had been waiting for him to help, got angry when he saw him gone, leaving him alone. Naruto then started looking for Kakashi. When he found him, Kakashi began attacking him with his clones. Naruto then grabbed one bell and stepped back a bit to get the other. But just as he was about to take it, the alarm clock rang, leaving Naruto a little discouraged for not getting the other bell for his teammates. Kakashi, time's up and I must say I'm disappointed. I was expecting more from you since you didn't impress me at all. Naruto, sorry Kakashi-sensei, but I did take it off. I'm sorry guys, but I couldn't get the other one off. Kakashi, when did you take it out? Naruto, when I was fighting my clones, I had the opportunity to take the bell from him. Kakashi, very well Naruto, now what I want to get to is that I'm very disappointed in you, Sasuke and Sakura. While Naruto was asking for your help and support, you didn't help him at all. This exam was meant to test your teamwork. Otherwise, why were you put in one? Well, since Naruto got his bell, I'll give you two a chance, but as punishment, you'll be tied to those logs without food. After saying that, Kakashi tied Sasuke to one log and Sakura to the other, while Naruto waited for Kakashi to leave so he could approach his teammates. When Kakashi left, Naruto approached the two logs where Sakura and Sasuke were tied up. Naruto, here you need to eat to have strength, besides, I really don't want you to fail this exam. After saying that, Naruto began feeding Sasuke and Sakura, who, without saying a word, started eating because they were so hungry. All of this happened under the watchful eyes of Kakashi, who was smiling beneath his mask. Then he came out of his hiding place to tell Naruto. Kakashi, why are you feeding them if they're grounded? Naruto, because they're my comrades and I won't leave them behind even if I'm ordered to. Sakura, if Naruto is right, now I see it, that's what a team is for, to support each other. Sasuke, besides watching his back when there are enemies. Kakashi, very good, they passed. Everyone except Kakashi. What? Kakashi. They passed what I wanted to show all the teams I failed was teamwork, but they just obeyed everything I said and attacked each other, so now that they've learned that, they've passed. Those who don't follow the rules are scum, but those who abandon their teammates are worse than scum. They should always remember that. Naruto, that was awesome, Kakashi-sensei. Sakura, yes, Sasuke, do you want to go for a walk? Sasuke, I'm not going home. Sasuke had left, leaving Sakura sad, while Naruto and Kakashi watched all of this. Then Naruto had an idea. Naruto, if you want, we can go for a walk, Sakurachin. Sakura, not even in your dreams, Naruto, who would want to be with you. After that, Sakura also left, leaving Naruto alone and sad. He too left with Koi while Kakashi went to give his report to Hiruzen. When Naruto arrived home, it was already very late, so he made himself something to eat while Koi ate something he had hunted. After finishing eating, Naruto went to take a 15-minute shower while Koi went to sleep. After a while, Naruto was already changed, lying in his bed, closing his eyes and then falling asleep. Chapter 23. Naruto narrates. I was having a peaceful breakfast with Koi until it was time, so I left because Kakashi-sensei had come to tell us that he would be waiting for us at 8 a.m. at the Hawkage Tower to start doing missions. The truth is that I was very excited about this, so I went faster and Koi was flying faster too. When I arrived, I saw Sakura and Sasuke waiting. I had arrived just in time. Naruto, good morning. Sasuke, HMP. Sakura, good morning. We started waiting for a while I stroked Koi's head and talked to Kurama, while my other companions got bored. The truth is, having someone inside you that you can talk to mentally is very good when you're bored, and only after waiting a while longer did Kakashi-sensei finally arrive, walking very calmly. Sakura/Naruto, Kakashi-sensei is late. Kakashi, good morning, and the reason I'm late is because a cat ran across my path and I had to take the long way around. Naruto, yeah right, of course. After yelling a bunch of things at Kakashi-sensei, we entered the Hawkage Tower. After walking through the corridors, we entered an empty room where Hiruzen, Uroke-sensei, and another person I didn't know were. Hiruzen, Team 7, well, your mission will be to catch the feudal lord's wife's cat. The cat's name is Tora and it has a red ribbon around its neck. Naruto, this isn't the mission I was expecting, I thought, a little discouraged. We left the room and then Kakashi-sensei gave us communicators so we could split up and look for that silly cat named Tora. We spent all day looking for him everywhere, but there was no trace of him until I saw him resting on a tree branch. Naruto, guys, I found it. Kakashi, tell us your location, Naruto, and we'll come. Naruto, I'm in a forest near the village, to be more precise, in the northern sector. Kakashi, copied, we're on our way. After waiting a while, I sensed the presence of my teammates, so I created 5 clones that were scattered around the area where the cat was. Then Kakashi-sensei gave us the order to capture it, but Sasuke and Sakura both lost it. Then I realized the cat was scared because what Tora was doing was the same thing I used to do when I was little, so I slowly approached it. Naruto, relax, I won't hurt you, Tora, you can trust me. Tora, how do I know you won't crush me? Naruto, don't worry, I won't do that, but come with me. Tora, wait, can you understand me? Naruto, I can understand any animal, so please trust me, I won't crush you, okay? Tora, okay, I'll trust you. Tora slowly approached, still wary, but then I carefully held him in my arms, making sure not to crush him. I then looked at my team who were watching Tora with a bit of anger, but Kakashi-sensei was amused. Afterward, we went to the Hawkage Tower where we handed Tora over to the feudal lord's wife, who immediately began to squish him in her arms. Tora, let me go, you damn thing, you're crushing me. Naruto, now I understand why he keeps running away. That woman will kill him if she keeps crushing him like that, I thought, feeling a little sorry for Tora. I approached the woman who was crushing Tora even though I could hear Kakashi telling me not to, but I ignored him. Naruto, excuse me. Woman, yes, what's wrong? Naruto, it's because you're squashing the cat, that's why it's escaping. If you could stop squashing it so much, it wouldn't be able to escape from you. Woman, I understand. The feudal lord's wife stopped crushing Tora, causing him to relax and stop fighting to escape. Woman, thank you for telling me. Naruto, Uzumaki, Naruto ma'ams. Rina, please call me Rina. Naruto, that ma'am thing is for the others I don't like, haha. Naruto, of course, Rina-san. After Rina left, I looked at the others who were witty-eyed in surprise, but I don't understand why, since I only helped Tora not suffer so much from that lady who now lets me call her Rina. But anyway, I went back to my place. Naruto, and what other mission will we do, Hiruzen, hehe. Sakura, Naruto, show more respect to the Hawkage. Hiruzen, don't worry, Sakura. Naruto has always called me that since I was 5, so it's become a habit anyway. Let's get to another mission, so let's see what it could be. Hiruzen started looking for more missions for us. I was hoping it would be something better than catching Tora. Hiruzen, here it is, your mission will be to take care of some babies, walk dogs, help a man with the harvest. But before he could continue, he was interrupted. Naruto, Hiruzen, hehe, those aren't missions, they're more like people's chores. I want a better mission. Hiruzen looked at me for a moment until he sighed, to which I smiled victoriously, since when he sighed it meant I had won. So he started looking for another mission until he stopped at one. Hiruzen, well, Naruto, since you want to prove what you're made of, I'll give you this mission. Escort a very important bridge builder who wants to be taken back to his village safe and sound. Kakashi, which village do we need to take him to? Hiruzen, to the Island of Waves, but don't worry Kakashi, they only need to protect it from thieves, nothing more. Kakashi, okay. Hiruzen, let Tazuna in. Then a man appeared, his clothes a bit worn, his appearance disheveled as if he didn't live very well. He was carrying a bottle of something or other and wearing a straw hat. That man reminded me of myself when I lived on the streets since my clothes were all damaged and torn, but I never imagined he was an important bridge builder. Was he really that man? So they're the ones who will escort me. Chapter 24, So they're the ones who will escort me. The narrator narrates. Kakashi, you must be Tazuna, right? Tazuna, if it's me anyway, I don't think they can protect me. Look at that brat. Naruto, who is he calling a brat? Tazuna, well, do you see someone else with an idiotic face? Naruto, I really want to hit him, but I know it's not worth hitting an old man. Tazuna, who are you calling an old brat? Naruto, well, you old man only deserve a little bit, you're getting old. Tazuna, HMPH, I'm not that old. After all that, they went to prepare for the journey. Naruto took some very important things to him, including one of his father's kunai that he had accidentally found in a forest. Then he left his house to go to the village gates where his companions and Tazuna were already waiting for him. The only one missing was Kakashi. Sakura, hey Naruto, what about that bird that always follows you? Naruto, first, it's not a bird, it's a hawk, and second, it has a name, it's Koi. Sakura, well anyway, where is he? Naruto, the truth is I didn't see him a few hours ago, where could he be? While Naruto was wondering where his friend could be, Koi was watching him from the sky. But in the end, she decided to come down and talk to Naruto, so when she came down, she sat on his shoulder. Naruto, Koi, where were you? Koi, I was in heaven watching you, sorry for not telling you, I forgot. Naruto, well, that doesn't matter anymore. After that, Kakashi arrived and they began their journey to the Island of Waves. As they walked, Naruto started talking to Kakashi about some trivial things. After walking for a few hours, they came across 2 puddles of water which Naruto perceived as an enemy since he could sense 2 chakra signatures in them. Kakashi was suspicious as it hadn't rained for 3 days, but they decided to let it pass to see what they wanted. However, as they passed, 2 people emerged and attacked Kakashi. Tazuna, Sasuke, and Sakura were shocked because Naruto sensed Kakashi's location, so he took action, placing himself in front of the ninjas. Naruto, who are they and what do they want? Ninja 1, we are the demon brothers. Brother 2, and we won't tell you what we want. Naruto, which of us are they looking for? Otherwise, they'd never attack us. Brother 1, this brat seems to be very clever. Before the other brother could speak, Naruto punched him in the stomach, sending him flying several meters. Sasuke, seeing this, snapped out of his shock and began helping Naruto with the other brother. Sakura, however, remained standing, watching everything in fear. Then one of the brothers took advantage of Naruto's distraction. Naruto saw the second brother throw a kunai at Sasuke, so he went and caught it. The second brother was about to attack Sakura, but Naruto, seeing this, created a clone of himself and launched it towards Sakura. The second brother was now close to attacking Sakura, but instead of Sakura taking the blow, it was Naruto who groaned in pain. He didn't care and kneed the second brother in the chest, knocking him to the ground. Naruto, now you'll tell me who you're looking for or not. Brother 2, rot in hell, brat. Naruto, well, I didn't mean to go this far, but you leave me no other choice. At that moment, Naruto took a small storage scroll from his kunai pouch, but before opening it, he tied up the ninja so he couldn't escape, while Sasuke tied up the other one. Brother 2, what are you going to do? Naruto, nothing, I'll just make you talk, if not the easy way, then I'll make you talk the hard way. But before Naruto could react, Kakashi emerged from his hiding place, surprising everyone except Naruto, who already knew what was happening. Naruto opened the small scroll to infuse it with some of his chakra, and a small smoke bomb appeared, revealing a collection of small torture devices. Kakashi was impressed that Naruto possessed such weapons. Kakashi, Naruto, where did you get that from? Naruto, I saw him lying in a forest and I brought him here. Then Naruto pulled out a small blade and began cutting off a finger. The ninja screamed in pain but couldn't speak, so Naruto continued cutting off finger after finger but still nothing. Naruto's companions who were watching were horrified, but Naruto didn't care. Naruto, now will you talk or do you want me to keep torturing you? Brother 2, I won't tell you anything. Upon hearing that, Naruto gave a lopsided smile and brought the blade close to the ninja's ear, who looked at him fearfully. Naruto, with the blade now near his ear, stared at him for a few minutes. Naruto, if you don't speak up, you'll lose your hearing. Do you still want to keep playing hard to get? The ninja said nothing, so Naruto proceeded to cut off his ear. The ninja began to scream in pain, while Tazuna, Sakura, and Sasuke were horrified by what they saw, and Kakashi watched in surprise. Naruto, you know I sensed you before you and your brother attacked us, but I decided not to do anything to see what you were doing. Now you'll tell me what you want, or I'll continue your suffering until you die. You decide. The ninja thought for a moment, then saw his brother lying unconscious. He then looked at Naruto's companions, and his gaze finally settled on Naruto's, on those sapphire blue eyes as cold as ice, which could only show amusement at the sight of the poor ninja's now terrified face. Naruto, well, will you speak? Brother 2, you win, I'll talk but don't hurt me. Naruto, okay, I won't hurt you. Naruto stepped back and crossed his fingers. His companions seeing this were shocked by how cruel Naruto could be to his enemies, who they never wanted to be his enemies. Brother 2, the thing is, Gojo hired us to kill Tazuna. Upon hearing that, Naruto realized the ninja was no longer of use to him, so he cut off one of his arms. Brother 2, you said you wouldn't hurt me. Naruto, really well, I don't remember us shaking hands to seal the deal. Then Naruto pulls his sword from his wrist and cuts off the ninja's head. He then begins to cut off every part of the ninja's body. Eventually, Naruto gets tired and starts to approach his team. Naruto, sorry for what you saw earlier, I got a little carried away, hee. Everyone's thought a little. Naruto, whatever Tazuna. Chapter 25. Naruto, whatever Tazuna. The narrator narrates. Tazuna wh what, Naruto, I'd like to know why that Gojo guy that ninja talked so much about is looking for him, it really makes me curious. Kakashi, and why did he lie to us about the mission? Does he know this mission could be level B or A? Tazuna, the reason I lied to them about the mission level is because what we collected to pay them wasn't enough. It only covered a low-rank mission. And the reason Gojo is looking for me is so I won't build the bridge. Naruto, and what does the bridge have to do with Gojo? Tazuna, Gojo took advantage of us because our village is far from other villages, and since it's a coastal village, Gojo would sell what we gave him. But he later arrived with a bunch of people he bought to protect him from anyone who dared to rebel. I understand why they don't want to protect me anymore. Naruto, is your village poor? Tazuna, yes, there are people who have to live on the streets and steal to be able to eat. Naruto, I don't know what you guys think, but I'll help him. Sakura, Naruto, are you an idiot? You're hurt and this mission is more than we can handle. We're just genin, we'd only get in the way. Naruto, you wouldn't be in Sakura's way, would you? I mean, you're not very strong, you don't know many jutsu, just the basics from the academy, and you haven't had any training. Tell me, when was the last time you trained? Sakura, aye. Naruto, just as I thought, you never trained. After that, Naruto started walking, but before he did, he stabbed himself in the affected area with a kunai to prevent the poison from spreading throughout his body. Naruto, besides, I wouldn't be hurt if you hadn't just stood there motionless. Tazuna, we have to keep going. Then Tazuna started walking with Naruto, who was wondering why he was acting this way with Sakura if he liked her, but he put it aside to concentrate on their mission. Their companions followed behind. After walking a little further, they reached the sea where a man with a boat was waiting behind some bushes. He would help them cross. After an hour of sailing, they reached the other shore, where they said goodbye to the man and continued their journey on foot. As they walked, they were very alert to anything strange in the area until Naruto sensed someone in the bushes. He took out a kunai and threw it, but a white rabbit popped out. Naruto, with what substitution? Sakura, Naruto, look what you did. Naruto, Kakashi-sensei, that white rabbit shouldn't be around here, should it? Kakashi, I don't actually think the one who was there was replaced by the rabbit. Then Koi appears, who was flying from the sky and had seen everything. Naruto, Koi, did you see something? Koi, yes, Naruto, there was a person in those bushes, and when he saw you were about to attack, he used the substitution jutsu. Naruto, I see, then I don't think it's very far away. But then, out of nowhere, a sword appeared, heading straight for Tazuna. Naruto pushed Tazuna out of the way so the sword wouldn't cut him. Then the sword stuck in a tree, where a dark-skinned man appeared. He had leg warmers on his arms and legs, as well as bandages. But look who we have here, it's Kakashi Hadake, the ninja who copied over 1,000 jutsu, the one with the Sharigan eye. Kakashi, the copy ninja. Kakashi, and you must be Zabuza Momoshiki, one of the swordsmen of the mist. Zabuza, I am honored that you know about my breastplate. Unfortunately, it is not you I seek but the builder. Kakashi, well, too bad because I won't give it to you. Without another word, Zabuza began fighting Kakashi with taijutsu, but then he went into the water where he made some hand seals, and then a lot of mist appeared so thick you could barely see who was next to you. Then Zabuza started to speak, but at that moment Naruto also made some hand seals and said, Naruto Futon K's Nakanaru wind style dispersing wind. Then an intense wind arises, dispersing all the fog that was in the place, and then they see Zabuza behind them. Zabuza, I think you'll cause me a lot of trouble if I don't kill you since you're a wind nature, so my mist won't work. But before he could continue speaking, Kakashi pierced him with a kunai, but it was only a water clone. Then Zabuza appeared behind Kakashi and pierced him with his sword, but he too was a water clone. The fight is the same as in the anime until they get to where Kakashi is captured. Kakashi, guys, run, you can't beat him now. Naruto, what do you mean we can't beat him? Besides, we'll never abandon a comrade. Kakashi, Naruto, listen to me. The fight ended when Zabuza locked me in here. You can't do anything. Naruto, no, I am going to show what I'm capable of, and I don't care what Kakashi-sensei says, I won't change my mind. At that moment, Naruto created 100 shadow clones that went against Zabuza's water clone, which was waiting for him. Then the original Naruto drew his sword from the seal on his wrist to begin formulating a plan with the information his clones gathered while fighting Zabuza's clone. Sakura, what are you doing, Naruto? Your clones won't help him at all. Can't you see he's defeating them? Naruto, my clones aren't meant to defeat that water clone, but to gather information about its fighting style, extract data, and learn anything I can. That's why I'm using them to figure out how to counterattack. Sasuke, I understand, so you just want to know how he fights. Naruto, yes, although I have a plan right now, but I'll need help to carry it out. Can I count on you, Sasuke? Sasuke, HMP, yeah. Naruto, okay then, Sakura, you protect Tazuna just in case, and Sasuke, I want you to keep the water clone distracted while I do that, okay. Sakura/Sasuke, yes. Sasuke went behind the water clone while it was distracted by Naruto's clones, then kicked it in the back, sending it flying a short distance. The clones then grabbed its legs and arms to immobilize it, and Sasuke began punching it in the stomach. However, the water clone broke free from the clone's grip with its sword, while 3 other clones joined in to assist Sasuke. What will Naruto's plan be to win this fight? Chapter 26. The narrator narrates. While fighting the water clone and being helped by Naruto's clones, the original Sasuke was performing a very complicated hand seal. He had invented it, but he wasn't sure if it would work since it was still unfinished and he needed to complete it now. Sakura, Naruto, how will your writing help us? Naruto, believe me, what I'm doing now will help us a lot, but I need concentration and silence. Without saying anything else, Naruto continued forming the seal. A few minutes passed and Sasuke was watching what Naruto was doing, but the water clone didn't let him do anything, kicking him so hard he crashed into a tree. Sakura went to Sasuke, leaving Tazuna alone. Seeing this, Naruto had no choice but to create clones to form more seals and then place them around Tazuna. Naruto clones 5 seal barrier. A barrier was created around Tazuna, protecting him from any attack by Zabuza, while Naruto remained under the seal. Kakashi was very impressed that Naruto knew about it, but he wasn't the only one. Zabuza was also impressed. Zabuza, that brat is special. Kakashi, yes it is, but who taught him that? Zabuza, don't you know who taught him that? Kakashi, no. Meanwhile, with Naruto, he had already finished the seal, but he wasn't sure it would work. He didn't care, so he took some more paper and started writing the same thing. When he finished, he created 10 clones of himself to place the seals around them. When that was done, he took Sakura and Sasuke and put them with Tazuna. Sasuke, Dobi, what are you doing? Naruto, do not leave this place for any reason. You are safe here. Then Naruto looked at Zabuza since the water clone had been defeated. He then created more clones that went against Zabuza and he freed Kakashi. But before he could do anything, Naruto's clone took him away to join the others who were at the barrier. Kakashi, Naruto, what are you doing? It's dangerous to fight Zabuza. Naruto, I already know that, Kakashi-sensei, but don't worry, I wouldn't be doing this if I didn't have a plan to stop Zabuza. But Naruto wondered if his plan would work, since it was the first time he'd used it in battle, but he didn't care and placed his hands on the ground while directing his chakra to the seals that Naruto's clones had placed earlier. Naruto, now then SUTNPNGUGIJUTSU, YAMI no dragon. Sealing technique, dark dragons. After the seals were cast, black mist began to emerge, gathering in the center where 3 dark dragons with red eyes stared at Zabuza. Naruto, dark dragons, please help me defeat Zabuza. The dragons looked at Naruto, then at Zabuza, who had his eyes open. One of the dragons attacked Zabuza with its tail, but Zabuza jumped up to dodge it. The other dragon struck him with one of its claws, and Zabuza crashed into some trees, breaking them in the process. Before the dragons could do anything else, someone emerged from the trees and threw something at Zabuza's neck, knocking him to the ground. Naruto had to dispel his technique because it was too much of an effort for him as the technique wasn't fully completed. The dragons dissolved into a cloud of mist that returned to the papers that Naruto's clones grabbed to give to him. This is the same as in the anime where the ANBU takes Zabuza away. Kakashi, Naruto, what was that? Naruto, it was a technique that I created, but that isn't complete yet. Then Naruto started to fall, but Kakashi caught him before he hit the ground. Kakashi, we'd better continue our journey. Is Tazunasan's house very far away? Tazuna, it's not actually close. They all started walking towards Tazuna's village. When they saw it, they were all very sad about how they were living. Naruto, who was already awake, looked on angrily, but then he saw some children whose food was being taken by 2 men, which made Naruto even angrier. Naruto, Kakashi-sensei, put me down, I want to do something. Kakashi, Naruto, you're still weak. Naruto, please, Kakashi-sensei. Knowing that Naruto wouldn't change his mind, Kakashi put him down, watching where Naruto was going. His entire team, even Tazuna, were watching him. Naruto, hello little ones. Child 1, who are you? If you're looking for food, we don't have any. Naruto, it's nothing like that. Naruto took some food out of his backpack and gave it to the children, then gave a very sincere smile that conveyed confidence, which impressed Naruto's companions because Naruto had never smiled like that before. After that, they went to Tazuna's house. Dad, a young woman with dark brown hair the same color as her eyes, ran to hug Tazuna, but when she saw he was with other people, she stopped to greet them. Tsunami, excuse my manners, I'm Tsunami, Tazuna's daughter. Nice to meet you. Kakashi, my name is Kakashi and these are my students Naruto, Sakura, and Sasuke. Those mentioned waved, but Naruto greeted her with a handshake and a smile. Naruto, my name is Naruto Uzumaki. It's a pleasure to meet such a beautiful lady. Everyone was astonished by Naruto's behavior towards Tsunami, but they decided to ignore it and went inside. As night was falling, they ate and then went to their respective rooms. Sasuke slept with Naruto, while Sasuke and Kakashi slept in separate rooms. Chapter 27. The narrator narrates. Everyone was already having a peaceful breakfast when they finished. Kakashi took them to the forest to train. Upon arriving, everyone paid attention to Kakashi, who was going to explain what they had to do. Kakashi, alright, what I'm going to teach you is chakra control. Sakura, Kakashi-sensei, we already learned that at the academy. Kakashi, yes, I know that, Sakura, but it won't just be chakra control, you'll also learn to climb trees. Naruto, but that's very easy. Kakashi, I know, but they'll have to climb the tree using only their feet. That's why we'll train chakra control so they can concentrate it in their feet. Now do you understand what I'm getting at? Sakura, yes, but can you show us how it's done? Kakashi, sure. At that moment, Kakashi assumed the ram stance, then headed towards a tree and began climbing it using only his feet. Although Naruto already knew how, he decided not to show it and pretend not to know, otherwise Kakashi would suspect him and start asking about the person who had taught him. Naruto's teammates began to do what Kakashi had told them, but Naruto created a shadow clone that stayed with his teammates while the original went to another place with Koi, who followed him in the sky. When they were far away from the others, Naruto stopped and Koi landed on his shoulder. Koi, why didn't you keep them? Naruto, because I already know that. Besides, I want to perfect the seal I created since it's not ready yet. Koi, I understand, and why don't you tell Kakashi that you already know that? Naruto, remember that Sasuke is on the team and he wants to be the best at everything, and if I do it before everyone else, he'll start bothering me about who trained me. Koi, you're right, that child is very spoiled by the village. Naruto, of course he's spoiled by them, they give him everything just for being an Uchiha. Koi, that brat doesn't know anything about the bad things about having nothing since he was given everything. Naruto, of course he doesn't know. While there are people who have nothing and live on the streets, he complains about stupid things. Well, although I understand that his family and clan were massacred, he doesn't know what it's like to live on the streets with cold and fear. Koi, although you did, Naruto, but I never saw you complaining about that. Naruto, because complaining about things that don't make sense won't get you anywhere. You have to keep going even if life is bad to you, and I had to learn that the hard way. Koi, I know, and now you'll perfect that technique. I saw that you did very well. Naruto, it worked out well, but it's really exhausting and that's what I don't want, so I'll have to do something about it. I'll ask Kurama if he can help me with that. Koi, okay, while you do that I'll keep watch to make sure no one interrupts you. Naruto, thanks Koi, you're the best. Koi, you're welcome. After that, Koi began to fly around the place, while Naruto assumed a lotus position to enter his mental space. Naruto's mind space. Kurama could be seen lying on the green grass next to the cherry tree that stood in the middle of all the trees. Naruto, hello Kurama, can you help me with something? Kurama, what do you want me to help you with, kid? Naruto, you see, do you remember the new technique I was creating? Kurama, so what's wrong with that? Naruto, well, I need your help. I finished it, but it leaves me exhausted, and that's what I don't want. Do you know if there's another way to do that technique without it leaving me so tired? Kurama, I don't really know since it's a technique you created, but I'll see if I can find something to help you with that. Naruto, thanks Kurama. Well, now I want to ask you something else. Kurama, it's about your attitude, isn't it? Naruto, how do you know that? Kurama, hey kid, you've been thinking about that all day, but anyway, about your attitude, it's common to act like this since your Uzumaki bloodline is being released, but another personality you created is also being released, and that's the one that's cold with people you don't like. On the other hand, with those you love you'll be different, but don't worry about that, because that personality will be like a shield for you so no one will hurt you when it comes to love or friendship, you understand? Naruto, yes, I understand, but will that personality only appear when someone hurts me emotionally, or what? Kurama, no, that personality will always be there, but when you have complete trust in people, you'll start opening up to them. Naruto, okay, I think that was all. Goodbye. Kurama, goodbye, kid. Outside of Naruto's mental space. Naruto was just starting to open his eyes when he realized it was late, so he decided to go to Tazuna's house. When he arrived, he saw his clone and signaled for it to come outside. When the clone came out, it dissolved, handing over all the memories. Apparently he hadn't made any progress climbing the tree so as not to attract attention, while Sakura had managed it but neither had Sasuke. Then he went inside Tazuna's house and saw everyone already sitting down to eat. They began to eat in silence, and then everyone went to sleep in their rooms. Chapter 28. The narrator narrates. We found ourselves in a forest where we could see a blonde boy with sapphire blue eyes writing on a piece of paper, but he was a little annoyed. That was Naruto, who couldn't get a seal right, a very difficult one for some. Koi, you still haven't gotten it. Naruto, no, not yet, and this seal is very good in every way since I can make a dragon that has all the natures and I can't get it right. Koi, and what happened to the other seal of the dragons of darkness? Naruto, Kurama is taking care of that. Koi, I understand. After a few hours, Naruto took a break to think calmly and began reading the scroll about Fuinjutsu again, as it could help him a lot. But he was interrupted by Kakashi, who already knew he was there. Kakashi, Naruto, why are you here instead of training with your teammates? You know you need this training, right? Naruto, Kakashi-sensei, I'll tell you the truth, the thing is, I've been able to climb trees with my feet for a long time now, and to prove it to you, I'll show you. Naruto placed the scroll on the ground, then stood up and walked to a tree, climbing it with his feet, leaving Kakashi surprised. Kakashi, and why didn't you say so before? Naruto, if I said that, Sasuke would start asking me who trained me or things like that, and I can't say who trained me because then I'd break the promise I made to my sensei. Kakashi, I understand then. That's why one of your clones is with your teammates, pretending not to know how to do that so Sasuke won't get upset. Naruto, if you put it that way, then you're right. Besides, Sakura already did it, but that's because she doesn't have as much chakra as Sasuke and me. That's why it was easy for her. But for the two of us who have more chakra than her, it's very difficult to achieve it on the first try. Kakashi, you're right about that. Naruto, Kakashi-sensei, you'd better give my clone and Sasuke some advice so they understand what's going on and don't spend all day doing that. Kakashi, okay, then I'll do that. After Kakashi left, Naruto continued with what he was doing, but then he also began training to stay in shape. He would send one of his clones out to do odd jobs to earn money, such as helping people in need. When Naruto finished his training, he also went to look for work, but on the way he came across two women being cornered by three men. He went to help them, defeating the three men who were trying to take advantage of the two women who were a girl and her mother. Naruto, are you all right? Woman, yes, thank you. How can I repay you? Naruto, it's nothing and there's no need, ma'am. Woman, even so, take some money. Naruto, I couldn't, they need it more than I do. Woman, I don't accept no for an answer. Naruto, okay, by the way, my name is Naruto Uzumaki. Kimuri, nice to meet you, Naruto. My name is Kimuri and this is my daughter Zumi. Daughter, say hello. Zumi, hello. Naruto, hello little one, how old are you? Zumi, I am 5 years old. Naruto, hee, you're very cute. Zumi, thank you, you too. Kimuri, well, we should go now, it's getting dark. Naruto, I'll accompany you home, ma'am, just in case something happens to you at this hour. Kimuri, we don't want to be a bother. Naruto, they're not a bother at all actually, I like helping people. Without saying anything more, Naruto took them to his house and left, but Kimuri gave him some food. After Naruto arrived at where he had left his clones, he dissolved them, receiving all the memories until his other clone arrived with 2 bags of money before dissolving. Naruto, I see, so you saved a wealthy man from being robbed in his house and they gave us a lot of money. After that, Naruto put everything in a scroll so they wouldn't see all the money he had, and then he went to Mr. Tazuna's house where everyone was, but Naruto's clone was gone, so they thought he had already returned. Then everyone sat down to eat peacefully, and when they finished, that's when Tsunami's son spoke. Why don't you leave? Just seeing you disgusts me. Tsunami, Inari, leave or Gato will kill you, you can't defeat him. Naruto, and how do you know that? Inari, because he will defeat them with his people. Naruto, shut up, you don't know anything. Inari, no, you know nothing. You live very well without any worries, you are happy, you never suffered. Naruto, shut the damn up, you who only know how to run away and cry. You know nothing about suffering. You just lock yourself in your room crying all day. You say I don't know what suffering is, but I know all about it. At least you have your mother and grandfather who love you. While I never knew my parents, I never had their love. In the orphanage, they wouldn't feed me for a week. They beat me and left me locked in my room asking me what I had done wrong. On my 4th birthday, they kicked me out of the orphanage without knowing where to go, where a bunch of people chased me with knives and all sorts of sharp things. They always hurt me, leaving me wounded on the ground when they got bored. I had to look for food in the trash. I slept in a box in an alley, but I couldn't sleep because I was afraid of being hurt. Always afraid. I couldn't sleep at night because of that fear. I went hungry for a long time until 2 people gave me food because everywhere I went I was always kicked out, with hurtful things said to me. They gave me food and let me stay the night, but I left because I was scared. That day they left a mark on me that I'll never be able to erase. They left me on the brink of death. If it weren't for the 3rd Hokage who found me and Koi, my best friend who went to get him, I'd probably be dead with a scar on my back. They blamed me for things I never did, killing their families. I never did that because I don't know them. That day I realized that hatred can blind people, making them do bad things, and all that hatred was what they had, so they took it out on me. So don't tell me I don't know anything about suffering. After that, everyone was shocked, but Naruto went to his room to sleep. Then everyone else left too, even a thoughtful Inari. Chapter 29. Naruto narrates. I had woken up early, so when I got up I saw Sasuke was still asleep, so I quietly left the room and went outside Tezuna's house, but then I heard Koi's voice coming behind me. Koi, are you okay, Naruto? Naruto, yes, why do you ask? Koi, it's just that yesterday you said things about your past without thinking about what your teammates might think. Naruto, that's true, but they were going to find out sooner or later anyway. Koi, well, you're right about that. Naruto, Koi, can we go a little deeper into the forest? Koi, sure. Koi and I ventured deeper into the forest, stopping near a stream. Then Kurama emerged from me in his human form. I stared at him for a few seconds until I couldn't hold it in any longer and burst into tears. Kurama hugged me to comfort me while Koi perched on Kurama's shoulder. Although I felt my companions watching me, I paid them no mind, as it had been a long time since I'd let out my emotions about everything I'd been through. Naruto, why do they hate me so much? What did I do to them to make them do that to me? Kurama, you didn't do anything to them, kid. They just don't understand that you're not a demon like they think. Naruto, I know, but I want to be happy. Is it too much to ask to be happy, or the villagers were right, and I must die? The narrator narrates. Everyone was very surprised by what Naruto said, but he was looking at Kurama. His eyes showed no emotion whatsoever. Those sapphire blue eyes were lifeless, yet only a sliver of pain and suffering remained. Kurama was very sad, but more than anything worried, because Naruto was breaking down more and more. His innocence, his smile, those bright eyes that revealed so much, that smile that brought such tranquility, all gone. His dreams of happiness were slipping further and further away. Naruto's classmates were saddened by his suffering, as they had never noticed how much he was suffering or tried to understand. They only thought of him as hyperactive, noisy, cheerful, and a bit of an airhead. But behind that facade hid a child who was suffering terribly from the people who mistreated him. They couldn't understand what it was like to be in his shoes, or they never considered what they were actually doing to the poor boy who only sought love and happiness. But what if they continued like this? What would happen to Naruto's attitude that made them they were happy every time they saw him when he did something mischievous? What would they do when they saw a Naruto completely different from the one they knew, a serious, cold Naruto without any feelings, and whose eyes were dead? Would they really be able to see him like that? But people wouldn't care if they truly loved him, since they were only blinded by the hatred they had for the being that lived inside Naruto. But in reality, that being they called a demon, the one that had killed a lot of people, was actually innocent, only being controlled by a member of the Uchiha clan whose identity they didn't know. Anyway, while Naruto looked at Kurama, his gaze, a little lost, returned to its focus, and then his eyes crystallized again. Kurama, kid, never think that again. There are people who love you just the way you are. And if the villagers don't understand that you're innocent of all those deaths, well, they won't want to know. If they did, they'd be filled with regret and wouldn't be able to sleep at night, because every time they close their eyes, they'll see your image, corrupted by their hatred and hurt. Naruto, Kurama, Koi, you are my family, and if anyone tries to separate me from you, I would kill them because you are very important to me, and I don't care if you destroyed the village years ago just because they were controlling you. You are the only one who knows what my parents were like, because you lived inside my mother a long time ago, just like you live inside me now. Kurama, kid, keep in mind that no one will separate me from you, not even this seal that has me locked inside you. Besides, they couldn't stand against me, not even the great Kyuubi no Yoko, one of the most powerful tailed beasts in the world. Naruto's companions didn't understand much of the conversation, but Kakashi was more than surprised that Naruto was talking to the Ninetales and letting it out so casually. Then he came out of his hiding place. Kakashi, Kyuubi, leave Naruto alone, or isn't it enough that they hate him just for existing? Kurama, I would never hurt the pup. He's like a brother to me, so if you want trouble about that, you can tell me, but not in front of Naruto. Kurama transformed into the great Kyuubi, but only at tree height, already with his 9 tails, frightening Sakura and Sasuke, but even more alarming Kakashi, who was in a fighting stance. Naruto, Kurama, don't do it. If you truly cared, go back to how you were before. Kakashi, Naruto, get away from that demon. Naruto, he's not a demon, he was like all of us, a living being who just wants peace and quiet and not to be locked up. And if you don't understand that, then leave, because I love him very much. Kurama returned to Naruto's body, but before he did, he said something to Naruto so everyone could hear. Kurama, kid, I wouldn't care what others think, but if they do anything to you, I swear I'll make them pay so they don't hurt you. And if they take me out of you, I'll die with you. Naruto, and it would be an honor for me to die by your side, Kurama. After that, Naruto collapsed to the floor from exhaustion while the others watched in surprise. Kakashi picked him up and carried him to Tezuna's house along with a surprised Sakura and Sasuke. When they arrived, they saw Inari, Tazuna, and Tsunami waiting for them, but they were shocked to see Naruto unconscious. Kakashi told them it was nothing serious, just exhaustion, so they laid him down to rest while those in the kitchen watched Kakashi. Everyone except Kakashi, we want an explanation. Kakashi, the thing is. Chapter 30. Kakashi, the thing is, the narrator narrates. Everyone was waiting for Kakashi to speak, but no words came out of his mouth because he didn't know how to explain Naruto's situation to them. Tazuna, and are you going to tell us what happened? Kakashi, look, what I'm about to tell you must not leave this room under any circumstances, as this is a secret that only concerns the village. Sasuke, if it only concerns the village, why don't many other people know about it? Kakashi, because the third Hokage told us not to tell the new generation anything so that Naruto could make friends and be like a normal kid in the village. Tazuna, and why a normal kid? What does Naruto have that prevents him from being that? Kakashi, a long time ago on October 10th, I don't remember if it was this date, a nine-tailed fox destroyed the village, killing many people. That fox was the Kyuubi no Yoko, a very powerful beast capable of creating earthquakes, tsunamis, or even the complete destruction of an entire village if it so desired. Inari, and what does that have to do with Naruto? Kakashi, you see, Naruto was born that day and the fourth Hokage used him as a human sacrifice or the next container of the Nine Tails. Sakura, but couldn't the Hokage have chosen someone else instead of a newborn baby? Kakashi, well, I think so, but the Hokage had faith that Naruto could control the power of the Nine Tails. Tsunami, and why did I have so much faith in Naruto if I didn't know him, or did I really know him? Kakashi, guys, you can't tell Naruto anything since he doesn't know, and it's better this way until he turns 15 and graduates as a Chunin. Sakura, and what is it that Naruto can't know? Kakashi, the true identity of Naruto's parents. Sasuke, I don't think it's right that we can know, especially not Naruto, who has more right than us to know the identity of his real parents. Tsunami, I'm with Naruto, he's probably suffered a lot from not knowing who his parents are. Kakashi, I know, but the third Hokage is doing it for Naruto's sake. His parents made many enemies in the wars, so if everyone knew they had a son, they would kidnap Naruto and take the Nine Tails, something important to the village. Sakura, I wouldn't treat the Nine Tails as something important to the village, knowing that it was the one who destroyed Konoha a long time ago. But tell us, who are Naruto's parents and why do you have so many enemies? Kakashi, Naruto's real parents are Kushina Uzumaki, the red-hot habanero, one of the most powerful and feared kunoichi that ever existed. That was his mother, who was the former container of the Nine Tails. Tazuna, and the father, Kakashi, the fourth Hokage. Minato Namikaze, known as the Yellow Flash, was also one of the most powerful ninjas in our village. Kushina and Minato had fallen in love and later had a son with blonde hair and sapphire blue eyes whom they named Tazuna, Naruto Uzumaki, but why doesn't he have his father's last name? Kakashi, if we gave him the surname Minato, one of my sensei whom I greatly respect, the enemies of Naruto's parents would realize it and kill Naruto simply out of hatred for his parents. Tsunami, I understand then that's why they didn't tell him anything. Kakashi, that's right. Sasuke, I still think Naruto has the right to know the truth before us, although I already knew that. Everyone was surprised by the voice coming from that place, so they turned around to see Naruto leaning against the wall with his eyes closed. Naruto, I must tell you that I don't hold any grudges against my parents or the village, not even Hiruzen, but when I found out, I hated everyone for not telling me before I heard it from someone else. Although he told me it was only to protect me, then I understood. That's why I don't hold a grudge against anyone in the village, even though they beat me up just for carrying a burden I never chose. But that doesn't matter to me anymore because otherwise how could I have met Kurama, one of my best friends besides Koi and the friends I made at the academy? Kakashi, Naruto, you already know. Naruto, yes, I've known that for a long time. Kakashi, who told you that? Naruto, nobody, that will be my secret, a secret no one will know. Well, that is until the Chunin exams start. Then I'll tell you, but until then you'll have to wait and remain in suspense. Neither Kakashi-sensei, nor the Hokage, nor anyone else will be able to know. After that, Naruto went back to his room, leaving everyone speechless, especially Kakashi, who wanted to know who had told him the truth. But that would only be revealed when the Chunin exams began, so they would have to wait. Naruto's teammates had already fallen asleep, and everyone was at the table eating in silence. It wasn't an awkward silence at all, in fact, it was pleasant. After finishing their meal, they wanted to ask Naruto more questions, but he had silently gone back to his room, so they had to wait until tomorrow to ask him. After a while, everyone had gone to their rooms and were asleep. Chapter 31. Naruto narrates. I was in the forest training with my clones since I didn't want to hear the questions they had for me. I was also training my adamantine chains, which I could apparently awaken. Just after arriving here, Kurama attacked me from behind, but I was unharmed because the chains promised me protection. So I started training how to awaken them, although it was quite difficult. After almost an hour of training since morning, I could only summon one chain and I was already tired, so I trained harder and harder until I could summon 2. After a few more hours, I could control 3 without getting tired, but if I summoned more, I would get exhausted and could only last a few hours like that. So I need to strengthen myself more. I lay down to rest for a while to recover from the hard training. Koi brought me my breakfast, which was fish, so I created a clone to light the fire while I prepared the fish. When it was ready, I ate it and put out the fire. Then I lay down again to sleep for a while. After a few minutes, I sensed the chakra of the same Anbu who had taken Zabuza, though I didn't believe he would kill him. I thought he would save him, as Kakashi-sensei had told us. So I opened my eyes and sat up to look in that direction where a boy with a feminine appearance appeared. His hair was long and silky brown, his eyes were dark brown, and his skin was a pale porcelain doll-like color. That's when he looked at me. Hello. Naruto, hello. I had to act like an idiot so he wouldn't suspect me. What are you doing here? You might get sick. Naruto, don't worry, I never get sick. His voice was very sweet, it was like a whisper. Then he sat next to me and smiled. His smile was so sweet that you could almost mistake him for a woman. Naruto, and what's your name? Haku, my name is Haku, and yours? Naruto, I'm Naruto. Haku, was he training? Naruto, yes, I want to be very strong. Haku, and why do you want to be strong? Naruto, to protect my loved ones. Haku, then you'll become very strong, you know, when someone wants to protect someone they truly love and care about deeply, they become stronger in order to protect them. I have someone I cherish and admire, that's why I protect them. Naruto, I understand, and what are you doing here? Haku, as I already told you, I have someone I care about very much who is injured, so I'm looking for medicinal herbs for him. Naruto, do you want me to help you? Haku, of course. I started cutting medicinal plants like the ones Haku used to pick, and gave them to him. When he said he had enough, he got up from the floor and started to leave, but he stopped a few steps away from me. Haku, by the way, I'm a man. Naruto, I know, hehe, but tell Zabuza I hope he recovers. Now I was the one smiling while Haku had gotten into a fighting stance, but I started laughing. Naruto, don't worry, I won't do anything. Haku had left, but he was on high alert, you could tell by the state of his chakra, but when he left my smile disappeared. Naruto, Koi, if anyone asks where I am, tell them I'm helping a woman. Koi, what are you going to do? Naruto, you'll find out very soon, besides, I need to distress a little. Koi, okay, but be careful what you do. Naruto, yes, I'll have it. Then I leaped through the trees, leaving a clone behind to help someone in case they were looking for me. I reached a part of the forest where I'd heard some people talking about robberies targeting tourists, so I took off my ninja headband so they wouldn't recognize me as a ninja and attack me. Before doing so, I put on a black cloak with a hood and a fox mask. I started walking calmly but hunched over, and 3 people emerged from some bushes. I was sure they were those damn thieves. Man 1, hey. Give us everything you have. Hunger 2, either you're damned or we'll kill you. Naruto, I won't give you bastards anything. At that moment, the ninjas rallied and rushed towards me, but I was ready for any move they might make. One was behind me, poised to punch me, but I ducked and then reappeared behind him, striking him in the back of the neck. The man fell unconscious to the ground. Then he ran to the second ninja who hadn't seen me, and I kneed him in the stomach, sending him crashing into a tree and also knocking him unconscious. Only the last one who had escaped remained. Since I could sense his chakra, which was low like that of a civilian, I sprinted towards him at full speed. Man 3, no, please don't do anything to me. Naruto, did you show mercy to those people who were stealing because you didn't want them to steal what little you had? Man 3, aye. Naruto, no, right, then why should I have mercy on you? Man 3, who are you? Naruto, I'm your worst nightmare, my name is Hell Fox. Then he disappeared from sight and I punched him in the stomach, making him spit a little. Then I took him to the ones I had knocked unconscious and then I killed them in different trees. When they started to wake up, they looked around until they saw me. Naruto, now that you're all awake, it's time to have some fun, don't you think? Man 1, what will you do to us? Naruto, well, I'll kill 2 of you, leaving only one alive but with a trauma that won't let him sleep at night. The men turned extremely pale and began to sweat profusely. Then I went to one of them to untie him from the tree, but I tied his entire body and feet so he couldn't escape, and I threw him to the ground. Chapter 32. Naruto narrates. The man on the ground stared at me in fear while I smiled behind my mask. Then I drew my sword from my wrist and began to cut off one of the man's fingers, who started screaming in pain. Naruto, you know, before I kill my victim, I make them suffer slowly until they die because that amuses me a lot. The 2 men tied to 2 trees stared at me in terror, but I didn't care. I began cutting the wrist of the man who was still screaming. Then I cut off one of his legs, chuckling a little at what I was about to do. The man stared at his leg, trying to grab it, but he couldn't. Next, I cut off his arm, the part that made him a man since I had pulled down his pants. Then I cut off one of his ears, forced his mouth open, and pulled out his tongue. I cut it off and played with it until I threw it away while he cried out in pain. Eventually, I got bored and killed him. Then I grabbed the other man and did the same to him. I started cutting off his ear, then his leg, wrist, 3 fingers on his other hand, and a toe on his left foot. I cut off his right foot and shoved it in his mouth to stop him screaming. I also cut off the part that made him a man, but it was difficult because it was so small. I gouged out his left eye with one of my kunai and threw it at the man tied to the tree, who was startled to see it. His hand, which I then pulled down until I removed the foot I had placed in his mouth to make him scream, but I didn't let him scream anymore because I covered his mouth, then pulled out his tongue and cut it off, ending his life. After that, I approached the other man with my fox mask spattered with blood and untied him, but I cut his right eye with my kunai, leaving him with a wound. Naruto, run away if you don't want to die like them. The man didn't hesitate and took off running while I started laughing, but when the man turned around, he hadn't seen me anymore since I had hidden in some tall trees. After leaving the dead bodies, I reached a lake and began washing off all the blood. Then I stored it on a scroll before heading to Tazuna's house. But before leaving, I stopped to check on my companions and my clone training, so I made the clone disappear. Naruto, hello. Kakashi, Naruto, where were you? Naruto, entertaining myself with some things. Kakashi, alright, anyway guys, you've made a lot of progress today and you're ready since you were able to climb the tree without any difficulty. Well, let's go accompany Tazuna to the bridge and help him. We started walking to Tazuna's house and then went to the bridge to help him. But then a lot of fog started appearing, which was the work of Zabuza and Haku, who was next to him. But I started making hand seals. Naruto futon K's Nakanaru wind style dispersing wind. Then all the fog cleared, revealing Zabuza and Haku dressed as an Anbu. Zabuza, it's true they have a wind user. I was about to approach, but Kakashi-sensei stopped me, putting his hand in front of me, and I looked at him. Kakashi, don't go, Naruto. Even though I know you're capable of fighting him, you won't be able to. Seriously, he's an idiot because I could have beaten him, but anyway, Haku was staring at me way too much, and it's a good thing I left a clone at Tazuna's house because now I'm getting flashbacks of my clone. But I hadn't listened to Kakashi and I went after Haku instead of Zabuza, so we started fighting with pure taijutsu. I didn't want to let him make any hand seals in case he was lost and couldn't do anything. But then Haku started making hand seals I didn't recognize and created an ice dome that trapped me. Then I went inside the dome, but I had an idea at that moment, to make a bunch of clones to sneak through and get out of there. So I created a bunch and started crawling out while Haku started attacking all my clones, leaving the place empty. Naruto, were you looking for someone? But I couldn't finish because a sword pierced me from behind, making me spit blood. It was Zabuza's sword, which he then pulled out, and I fell to my knees. Sakura, Naruto, idiot. Sasuke, Naruto, Kakashi, Naruto, no. I looked at my companions with a reassuring smile since Kurama was healing me. Then I got up as if nothing had happened and looked at Zabuza, although I felt pain. When I saw him, he was impressed. Naruto, attacking him from behind was a great idea, but you only managed to pierce my stomach, so that's nothing to me. I started fighting Zabuza with my wound, and since I couldn't draw my sword because Kakashi-sensei was there, I had to fight with a kunai. Then Zabuza disappeared and reappeared behind me, starting to attack with his sword, inflicting many wounds. One wound was near my heart and I fell, hearing the screams of my friends. The narrator narrates. Naruto had fallen to the ground, but his eyes were still open, looking at his companions, but blurry. Kakashi, Naruto. Kakashi was about to go to Naruto, but Zabuza got in his way. Sasuke and Sakura were in shock, while Tazuna watched with a mixture of amazement and sadness. Then everyone from the village came to fight, thanks to Inari. But when the little boy saw Naruto lying there covered in blood, he was terrified. His mother had covered his eyes so he wouldn't see. When Tazuna saw them, he went to join them, and Inari went to his grandfather. Inari, Grandpa, what happened to Naruto? Tazuna, I'm so sorry, Inari, but they pierced him near his heart and in his stomach. I don't think he'll survive. Upon hearing that, Inari began to scream at Naruto and cry. Everyone watched the poor boy, so young, dying at such an early age. But then a red chakra appeared from Naruto's body, and he rose up, appearing next to the original Haku and striking him. Haku dispelled his technique, then appeared in front of Zabuza and Kakashi, who were watching him, very impressed. But Naruto spat blood, only slightly staining Zabuza, who looked at him in amazement, and then. Chapter 33. The narrator narrates. Naruto needs Zabuza, sending him flying. He then reappeared behind him and kicked him in the back, disappearing and reappearing behind Zabuza to strike him in the back of the neck. Zabuza fell to the ground unconscious, and then Haku was also knocked unconscious. At that moment, Gojo appeared with a group of people. Naruto had created a clone to impersonate him, and Gojo went to the group, put on his cloak with the hood and his fox mask, and appeared behind Naruto where his clone was standing. He pretended to faint and changed his voice so he wouldn't be recognized. Naruto, you did great, buddy. The companions saw the man who made the clone faint and then drew his sword. Naruto narrates. My teammates were staring at me, as were all the villagers. That's when I ran in to kill a bunch of ninjas. I quickly decapitated many of them until I left only 2 alive. I started torturing one of them, cutting off many of his limbs. He laughed until he was decapitated. Then I cut out the other ninja's eye, just like the man I had let go with the wound in his right eye. Ninja, WH, who are you? Naruto, you can call me the fox from hell, the one who makes someone suffer slowly before killing them, but leaves only one man alive to make him leave, so either you leave or the same thing will happen to you as to everyone else. But I'll make you suffer even more slowly. The ninja ran off, then I looked at Gojo and approached him. It was clear he was afraid of me and didn't want me to get any closer, as he moved further away with every step I took. Cat, please don't hurt me. I can give you women riches, lots of money if you want. Naruto, money, but for that money I'll have to do something for you, or am I wrong? Cat, if I kill all these people. I looked at everyone and my companions were in fighting stances and the villagers were scared. Then I looked at Gojo again. Naruto, no thanks, I don't want your filthy money, but I do want your death. Then I cut off his arm, making him scream in pain as he walked away, but I approached him. Naruto, does it hurt? I cut his left leg and he screamed even louder. I started laughing just seeing his face, full of fear and desperation to escape, when I finally grabbed him. The narrator narrates. Everyone watched in fear and horror what that person was doing to Gojo until they saw him open his mouth and stick out his tongue, then cut it off and play with it. Everyone was horrified, while Tsunami covered her son's eyes since he was the only child there. Then Naruto threw Goto's tongue a little way away from them, landing at the feet of Naruto's teammates, who were also horrified as they stared at the tongue. Then they saw that mysterious person cut off Goto's head and grab it, then approach Team 7 with a clone of Naruto asleep on the ground since no one wanted to get close yet. Naruto, why are you looking at me like that? This is a ninja's job, and if you don't like it, well, leave. After that, Naruto handed Kakashi Goto's head and left at superhuman speed to switch places with his clone, who then pretended to wake up. Naruto, what happened? Naruto narrates. I pretended to wake up, but I didn't see anyone paying attention to me except Tazuna, Tsunami, and Inari, who came running towards me to hug me, but I moved away. Naruto, what are you doing? Tsunami, hug you. Then Tsunami hugged me, and I don't know why, but for the first time I felt the warmth of a hug that wasn't from Iam or Tuche. Naruto, Tsunami, there's no need to hug me, I didn't do anything. Tsunami, of course you did something, you killed those two people all by yourself. Naruto, well, but what happened here? Tsunami looked at all the corpses and shook his head, letting me know he didn't want to say it. So I got up and went over to my teammates to grab Cat's tongue, and then saw my teammates who were looking at me in horror for grabbing the tongue. Naruto, have you never seen a tongue before? Well, here's one, hahata. I started making jokes with my tongue, but they didn't find it funny, so I threw it into the sea. The narrator narrates. Days passed and Team 7 had to leave, so everyone in the village said goodbye to them. On the way, a horrible smell began to waft through the air, so they went to investigate and found the two corpses that Naruto had left behind. Sakura, how horrible, isn't that right? Kakashi, it seems they did cut off their bottom part. Kakashi was sweating profusely, but he also saw the two tongues and the heads. Kakashi, I think it was the work of that person who calls himself the Fox from Hell, judging by the tongues, heads, and well, besides, these men suffered a lot before dying, and it seems they're those thieves who robbed people passing by here. After that, they left, abandoning the corpses, while Naruto inwardly chuckled at Sakura and Sasuke's expressions when they arrived back in Konoha. Kakashi had gone to give the report to the Hokage, while the others went home. When Naruto arrived, he started washing the clothes he had stained with blood and his mask, then made himself something to eat, as did Koi. They began to eat since it had gotten dark. When they finished, Naruto took a bath and then went to sleep. Chapter 34. Naruto narrates. I was meditating in the forest of death when I got hungry, so I left to go eat ramen, even though I know I shouldn't, but one day won't hurt. I started walking through the streets of Konoha while everyone stared at me with hatred. When I got to Ikaraku, I saw Tuche, so I sat down. Tuche, Naruto, it's been a long time since I've seen you. Naruto, yeah, I've been a little busy with missions and training. Tuche, hee, and how did you do these past few days? Naruto, very well, I'm learning new things as I train. Tuche, well, I'm glad to hear that, but are you having fun? Remember, you never played with the other kids when you were little. Naruto, does he know? Tuche, of course I know. When I went to buy the ingredients, I saw that they were hitting you or the children weren't playing with you. Naruto, I never got to play, but that doesn't matter now because I'm having a lot of fun. Tuche, okay, and will you order the usual? Naruto, of course. Tuche went to the kitchen and after a few minutes returned with my food, the ramen. When he gave it to me, I started eating calmly since I wasn't in any hurry until I finished it. I paid and went for a walk, although I kept hearing Kurama complaining about me eating ramen without his permission. Koi was now on my shoulder, watching people, but suddenly I saw Konohamaru. I remembered meeting him when they took my picture and Hiruzen told me to take it again. Then Konohamaru came in at that moment and well he blamed me for something I hadn't done. But anyway I approached him and it seemed he was with his friends. Naruto, hello Konohamaru, how are you? Konohamaru, hi Naruto, how are you? Naruto, good. Konohamaru, I haven't seen you in a long time, where were you? Naruto, I was on a mission and I was also training. Konohamaru, great, right Naruto, these are my friends Mogi and Udon. Naruto, hi, I'm Naruto. Mogi, hello. Udon, hello. We started talking until we saw Sakura looking a little down. I felt a bit bad for her since Sasuke had probably rejected her, so I went over to join the guys. Naruto, hi Sakurachin, what's up? Sakura, nothing Naruto, what are you doing? Naruto, I'm talking to a friend. Konohamaru, hello, I'm Konohamaru. Mogi, I am Mogi's. Udon and I Udon's. Sakura, hi, I'm Sakura. Naruto, aren't you too old to be hanging out with little kids? Naruto, age doesn't really matter when you want to make friends. Sakura, the important thing is knowing if they are true friends. Sakura, what? Konohamaru, Naruto, is she your girlfriend? Naruto, what? Konohamaru, if she's your girlfriend, although if she is, well, she has a bit of a big forehead. Upon hearing that, a vein popped out on Sakura's forehead. Konohamaru then ran off with an angry Sakura in pursuit, while Naruto and Konohamaru's friends followed behind. But then they bumped into two people. A girl with 4 pigtails, blonde hair, and dark blue eyes, and a boy with his face painted, wearing black clothes with a hood with ears and black eyes. Naruto, Konohamaru, leave him alone. And if not, what then? Kankuro, leave him alone or we'll be in trouble with him. Kankuro, hey Temari, calm down, he hasn't arrived yet. Naruto began to assess the situation until he had the idea to create clones. They formed a cloud of smoke, allowing Naruto to reach Konohamaru and pull him from Kankuro's grasp. He then summoned his clones to create another cloud of smoke. When it dissipated, Kankuro was seen without Konohamaru as he was with Naruto. Kankuro, but what? Naruto, if you're wondering how I got Konohamaru out of you, well, I did it with the smoke cloud which I used as a distraction. Temari, he's very clever. Temari thought, looking at Naruto who was looking at them very seriously. But then Naruto felt the presence of Sasuke, but of another person who had 2 different chakras in a tree. Naruto, how long do you two plan to watch this from that tree? Sasuke was confused because he was the only one there. But then next to the other branch of that tree appeared a boy with red hair, emerald eyes with black markings that looked like a raccoon. On his forehead he had the kanji of love and behind him he had a pumpkin. Kankuro, Temari, don't cause trouble, do you want to dishonor our village? Kankuro, but Gaara. Gaara, shut up or I'll kill you. At that moment Gaara climbs down from the tree, as does Sasuke, and then begins to look at Naruto with interest. Gaara, what's your name? Naruto, Uzumaki, and you? Gaara, I am Gaara no Sabaku, you fill me with curiosity, you will be the one to prove my existence. The 3 brothers were about to leave but then Sakura stopped them. Temari, what? Sakura, not to be rude but they can't be in other villages without explicit permission even if Konoha and Suna are in an alliance. Temari, well look, here are our permits for the Chunin exams. Sakura, Chunin exams. Sakura was thinking as the 3 brothers had already left. They went to see Kakashi, whom they had found on the way, to tell him something about the Chunin exams. Naruto, Sasuke, and Sakura agreed, although Sakura was a little nervous about it. Afterward, they all went home to rest since they would have to rest tomorrow. Chapter 35. It was morning. Naruto was walking through the streets of Konoha towards the academy since the exams were about to begin. There, Koi was on Naruto's shoulder. When he arrived, he saw his 2 companions waiting for him, so he approached them. Naruto, shall we go in? Sasuke, yes. They entered the academy and walked through its corridors, but along the way they encountered some people, among them a boy in a green suit, orange leg warmers, a bowl haircut, and bushy eyebrows. He flew out of the crowd of people trying to get in, but Naruto caught him first. Naruto, are you okay? Yes, thank you, what's your name? Naruto, my name is Naruto Uzumaki, and yours? Rock Lee, I am Rock Lee. Lee glanced away to look at Sakura, then hearts appeared in his eyes and he approached her. Lee, I've never seen a girl as beautiful as you, will you be my girlfriend? Naruto, what does he see in Sakura? Thought Naruto, looking at Lee with pity for having bad taste. Sakura, no thanks, you're weird. Upon hearing that, Naruto became so angry that he clenched his fists so tightly they turned white. Naruto, Sakura, don't speak badly to Lee, he only gave you a compliment. Sakura, oh you shut up Naruto, you idiot, can't you see he's a weirdo? Naruto, so what? Look, if you're only going to be looking at what they have and not their heart, then nobody's going to love you. Sakura, and what do you know? You're an orphan who never had parents, you don't know anything. Naruto, I may be an orphan who never knew his parents, but at least I have a good heart and I'm kind to people, unlike you. Naruto left, leaving Sakura annoyed at him for speaking to her like that. Sakura, Sasuke-kun, did you see how Naruto Baka treated me? Sasuke, the Dobi is right and you're really annoying, I don't know why you became a ninja. Sasuke walked away along the same path as Naruto, leaving Sakura witty-eyed and with her self-esteem at zero, but she followed them to the correct classroom where there were a lot of people from other villages. Then those of her generation approached. Naruto, hello Shikamaru, is everything okay? Shikamaru, hello Naruto, this is very troublesome. Naruto, why am I not surprised? Hey Chaoji, how have you been? Chaoji, well, how are you? Naruto, well, even though you already know the same old thing like doing my silly things, Titebyo. Chaoji, you never change. Naruto, I don't know how you managed to be so happy. Naruto, if you only knew, I'm just pretending, he thought. They started chatting animatedly to kill time until someone came to explain the exam, but then a boy with silver hair and black eyes who wore glasses approached them. I advise you not to shout too much in this place. Look, they are watching you because you are the center of attention. Naruto's generation, realizing they were being watched in a decidedly unfriendly way, became nervous amidst the intense killing intent of all the ninjas present. They were even breathless. But Naruto, accustomed to such stares and possessing Kurama's killer instinct that could surpass their own, simply gazed at them indifferently. Naruto, did you lose something? Why are you staring at us like that? Naruto's peers stared at him in surprise, as he seemed unaffected by the murderous instinct emanating from them all. But then another murderous instinct surfaced, leaving everyone almost unable to stand. The ninjas were searching for the source of the powerful murderous instinct when finally their gaze fell upon Naruto, who continued as if nothing had happened. Naruto, the next time you try to intimidate us with your pathetic murderous instincts, I swear I won't hesitate to kill you all, you hear me? The place had fallen into a deathly silence. Naruto's friends couldn't believe what they had heard and even doubted they knew Naruto completely, who now looked different from before. He was serious, his eyes were dull and lifeless, and his voice was cold and deep, courtesy of Kurama, but no one knew. Naruto, okay, now that that's clear, either you continue with what you were doing or my killer instinct will increase even more. You decide. Everyone had listened to Naruto, but almost, and the place was completely silent. Naruto suppressed his murderous instinct and everyone began to breathe easier. His friends looked at him in surprise. Naruto, by the way, what's your name? Kabuto, my name is Kabuto, nice to meet you. Naruto leaned close to Kabuto's ear and whispered. Naruto, I'm disgusted by your snake-like chakra, so stay away from me if you don't want to die. Naruto walked away from Kabuto with slow but firm steps, leaving Kabuto a little nervous since he'd felt a chill upon hearing Naruto say that, just like in the anime. Naruto had finished everything in a few minutes and had spent the entire exam board looking around until it was finally over. At that moment, the window shattered, revealing only a cloud of smoke. When it dissipated, they could see. Chapter 36. She was a woman with purple hair and eyes of the same color. I don't remember what color Anko's eyes are. Her skin was somewhat pale, and she had a very well-formed body that was the envy of every woman. This was Anko Mitarashi, Orochimaru's former student. The woman simply told them that they would meet in the forest of death and left. Everyone began to leave calmly, although some were nervous. Naruto, that Anko has a rather repulsive chakra, don't you think? Kurama, he thought a little seriously. Kurama, yes, but don't worry, she won't do anything to you, he said calmly. Naruto, okay. When they arrived at the forest of death, the same thing happens as in the anime. We found Team 7 jumping from branch to branch looking for a nearby team, but still nothing. Sasuke, Naruto, one team ahead and we're getting closer, he said with a foxy grin. Sakura, really? Naruto, yes Sakura, I'm not lying to you since I'm a censor. Do you remember that I sensed the demon brothers? They continued like this until they found the team Naruto had mentioned, but they were sitting and talking about a plan. Naruto, this will be fun, he thought with a foxy grin. Naruto moved away from his companions without them noticing and went to another place to emerge from the bushes, but with a transformation into a girl with slightly torn clothes showing her beautiful girl's body. The three boys, seeing her, looked at each other and gave each other a perverted smile. Boy one, well, we're so lucky, he said without losing his perverted smile. We have a girl with damaged clothes approaching Naruto, who was looking at them in disgust. You know, guys, why don't we play with her a little? The two boys behind him simply nodded. Naruto signaled one of his clones, which he had created earlier, and stealthily approached under the watchful eyes of his two teammates and removed the scroll without the boy on the left noticing. Then he left. The boys were about to touch Naruto, but he attacked them, leaving them nearly unconscious. Before they fainted, they heard the blonde boy's voice. Naruto, women aren't toys for you to play with, that's being a coward. Besides, women are special. Without them, we wouldn't exist, so show them more respect, he said seriously. Don't use them because they aren't objects to be used and then thrown away like they're worthless. So think twice before you use a woman, because if you don't, I'll kill you, you hear me? He said coldly. Guys, Naruto, HMPH, I'm disgusted by people like them, thinking they can use women like objects, he said to himself, but then Koi appeared and perched on Naruto's shoulder. Koi, where have you been? Koi, I fell in love with a girl, but she passed away. Let's just say, he said sadly, some hunters killed her, and I couldn't do anything, he said dejectedly. Naruto, don't worry, Koi, she must be better off somewhere and those bastards will pay for it. They'll get what they deserve. Koi, thank you. Naruto grabbed the scroll his clone gave him, but when he handed it to him, it exploded in a cloud of smoke. Naruto, how lucky we are, it's the sky scroll, Titebyo, he said happily. Sakura, what was all that about? Naruto, what do you mean? Sakura, why did you tell those boys that? She asked, confused, though Sasuke looked at her with a seriously expression, seeing how Sakura didn't realize what those boys wanted to do with Naruto. Sasuke, HMP. Naruto, well, because they wanted to grape me. When they saw I was a girl with damaged clothes, they thought I was weak, and I just showed them what they deserved for thinking that women are only used to satisfy men, which disgusts me, that they think that way about women, and that's why I did it. Sakura, I understand. Sasuke, we'd better move forward if we want to reach the tower quickly. Naruto/Sakura, yes. The three of them began leaping from tree to tree at great speed, but it was then that a large snake appeared, swallowing Naruto, who reacted too late. The snake took Naruto away, leaving only Sakura and Sasuke, who were in shock. The first to emerge was the raven-haired boy, who was about to go to where the snake had gone as he was worried about Naruto, but then a woman appeared and attacked Sasuke to prevent him from going to where Naruto was. Sasuke, who are you? HMM with a creepy smile, I am. Chapter 37. Here I'm going to change some things, like Kurama's thoughts when he speaks and the names. Orochimaru, I am Orochimaru, one of the three legendary Sannin. Greetings, three legendary Sannin. She thought, terrified. Sasuke, damn it, I need to see how Naruto is now. Wait, since when do I care about that cute idiot? What are you thinking, Sasuke? Concentrate on the battle. He thought, glancing sideways at where the snake had taken Naruto. Sasuke greeted them, unsure what to do. The raven-haired boy was so worried about his blonde teammate that he couldn't think of anything. Sakura was too scared to move, so if he attacked, he would likely grab her and use her as a hostage. Meanwhile, Naruto was now outside the snake that had exploded a few seconds ago. Naruto, I'd better go quickly with the guys. Naruto started running at superhuman speed. He was now very annoyed because his whole body was very slimy from being inside the serpentine bridge. When he arrived, all he did was punch the supposed woman in the face. Naruto, you damn cheap snake, do you know how slimy I am right now, Titebyo? He yelled angrily as chains came out of his back. Orochimaru, it can't be, he thought. Looking at Naruto incredulously, Kabuto forgot to tell me that little detail about the Kyuubi brat being able to control his chains, and I didn't even know he had them, he thought, looking at Naruto, who was annoyed. Naruto, now you'll see what happens when you anger Naruto Uzumaki. Naruto had secretly trained his adamantine chains extensively, so now he handled them well. He caught Orochimaru and began throwing him to the ground repeatedly, then started using him as a punching bag. Sasuke, how does he get so strong? He thought, looking at Naruto with a bit of fear, I'll never make Naruto angry. Even though I think I'm attracted to people like him, he thought. Greeting, Naruto is really scary. Orochimaru, these chains are draining all my chakra, I already feel weak. I definitely wasn't ready to fight in Uzumaki, especially when they're angry, he thought, more than in pain. Naruto let go and delivered a knee strike to Orochimaru's stomach, sending him flying. Naruto, HMPH, we'd better go, guys, he said, looking at his two companions. The first to move was Sasuke, who positioned himself next to the blonde boy. Naruto created a balloon to carry Sakura like a sack of potatoes, and they began to run as fast as possible. They didn't want to encounter Orochimaru or one of his disgusting snakes again, and since they already had the scroll they needed, they quickly reached the tower where Uruka appeared after they discovered what they had to do. Uruka, well done, Team 7, you were the first to arrive, I'm very proud of you. Naruto, thank you Uruka-sensei Titebyo, he said with a radiant smile. Uruka, you can go rest or train if you want. Here are the keys to your rooms, he said, handing each of them a key. Naruto/Sasuke/Sakura, thank you. Naruto and Sasuke went to train, while Sakura just went to take a shower since she felt dirty from the dirt on her clothes. This was because before reaching the tower, Naruto accidentally dropped Sakura and she fell to the ground. Since she didn't put her hands out to break her fall, her face ended up in the dirt as well. Anyway, Naruto and Sasuke were about to train on their respective sides, and as they trained, they gradually moved closer together, unconsciously bumping into each other back to back. Naruto/Sasuke, I'm sorry, they said in unison. Naruto processing, wait, Sasuke Uchiha apologizing, is the end of the world coming, he yelled, making exaggerated hand movements. Sasuke, shut up, Yuzure Tonkachi. Naruto, what did you call me, team? Sasuke, and what did you call me, Dobi? Naruto, team. Sasuke and Dobi. Naruto, team. Sasuke and Dobi. The two started fighting as usual, but then Sasuke misstepped and fell on top of Naruto, who groaned in pain as his head hit the floor. When they looked at each other, they froze. Sasuke gazed into those beautiful sapphire blue eyes, and Naruto was lost in the raven-haired boy's onyx black eyes. Neither of them moved at all until the blonde blinked and blushed, not knowing why. Naruto, Sasuke, I'm sorry, he said to 12 from where he was with a slight blush. Naruto, it doesn't matters. Sasuke, we should go and rest. Naruto, yais. The two boys left for their respective rooms. When Naruto arrived, he went in alone and changed his clothes so he could sleep more comfortably. Although he couldn't stop thinking about what had happened there, he put those thoughts aside to lie down and fall completely into the arms of Morpheus. Chapter 38. The waiting period had passed, and the participants were now lined up, though there were few since some hadn't been able to get through. While Hiruzen was giving his long speech, a pedophilic snake watched from the shadows of a corner, observing a blonde boy who had ruined his plans to give Sasuke the cursed seal. A pink-haired girl was looking at the raven-haired boy with some concern, since, according to what Orochimaru the Snake Sannin had told them, he only wanted Sasuke. Sakura, I can't let that Orochimaru guy touch Sasuke-kun, I have to do something, she thought worriedly. Sasuke-kun, she whispered in the ear of the raven-haired boy who looked at her out of the corner of his eye. Sasuke, what do you want, Sakura? He asked, annoyed. Sakura, please, you must leave and tell the Hokage about this Orochimaru guy. What if he's here? She said in a frightened tone. Sasuke, leave me alone, Sakura, and don't say anything or you'll pay for it, he said seriously. Naruto, hey, what's up? Sakura, that Sasuke-kun doesn't want to leave. Naruto, what, Sasuke, do you want to quit? Sasuke, of course not. Naruto, so, Sasuke, Sakura wants me to leave because she's worried that Orochimaru will show up to attack me. Naruto, Sakura, don't worry, Sasuke is strong and knows how to defend himself. You shouldn't worry about him, he said with a warm smile, calming Sakura. Kurama, yes, don't worry about that Uchiha brat, worry about her instead, hahata. Naruto, Kurama, don't be mean to hers. Kurama, yeah, whatever, you won't let me have any fun. After the explanation they were given, the fights began, with Sasuke being the first to fight against Yori. However, after a few minutes, Sasuke ended up going to Naruto's side, who looked at him out of the corner of his eye. Kurama, pup, do you want me to release the rest of your blood now or after your fight is over? Naruto, it would be best after my fight is over. Kurama's okay. Sasuke, what are you thinking about? Naruto, Sasuke, what are you thinking about? Naruto, why, Sasuke, it's just that Kiba just bothered you and you didn't say anything to him. Naruto, wait, what did he say? Sasuke, HMPH, he said that if he had to fight you, he would defeat you in a minute. Naruto, so that's what he said, huh? Sasuke, yes, what's wrong? Naruto, no, nothing, it's just that someone is going to suffer, he said with a tender smile, scaring Sasuke, who was now sweating cold. Sasuke, I definitely shouldn't make Naruto angry, he thought with a little fear. After several fights, it was finally Naruto's turn and he was facing Kiba. Sasuke started wondering what color the flowers would be for Kiba's funeral. Kiba had a confident smile, while Naruto still wore that sweet smile that sent a chill down more than one person's spine, because beneath that smile lay evil intentions, or rather a macabre grin. Kiba, this will be easy, he said confidently. Naruto, don't get cocky, Kiba-kun, he said in the cutest, most scary way. Meanwhile, in the stands, many began to sweat profusely until someone spoke, and that someone was Sasuke Uchiha, who looked at Naruto with a hint of fear. Sasuke, we will always remember you, Kiba, he said seriously. Ino, I'll take care of the flowers for his funeral. Chaoji, I'll take care of the food. Everyone started talking about how Kiba's funeral was going to be, while in the fighting arena the two boys with a small white dog that was on Kiba's head were looking at each other. But then the Inuzuka was the one who threw the first punch, but Naruto easily dodged it. Naruto, what did you tell me before, Kiba? Oh yeah, you defeat me in a minute, right? Kiba, shut up, Naruto. Kurama, pup, finish quickly. If you waste too much chakra, I won't be able to release your Uzumaki blood. Naruto, okay, he thought, looking at Kiba, you know the fight ends now. When Naruto said that, he vanished in a yellow blur with superhuman speed and reappeared behind Kiba, striking him on the back of the neck and knocking him unconscious. Naruto was declared the winner and went to the stands, much to the surprise of everyone who thought it was the end for Kiba. They had thought it would be the end of Kiba, but he had only knocked him unconscious. No one said anything. Naruto simply left without a word and went to an empty room. He placed seals to prevent anyone from entering and lay down on the floor. Kurama, are you ready? Naruto, yes. Kurama, you'll undergo more changes, okay. Naruto, good. Kurama proceeded to release all of the Uzumaki blood, causing Naruto to scream in pain. Although nothing could be heard outside due to the barrier Naruto had created, the blonde boy was changing. His golden hair like the sun was now beginning to turn crimson red, and one of his eyes, the left one, turned navy blue while the other remained sapphire. His entire body now appeared delicate, as did his face, which had delicate features. But as he felt his chakra increasing too much, he could only faint from exhaustion, lying there on the ground with the barrier activated. Chapter 39. Naruto was already waking up a little sore. When he sat up, he started looking all around, and he also felt a lot of chakra signatures from many people who were nearby, so he stood up as best he could and left. Naruto, how long was I unconscious? Kurama, it's already night, pup, and everyone was looking for you. Naruto, Hiruzen must be very worried. Kurama, you'd better go and tell him you're okay. Naruto, you're right. The bicolored boy ran to the Hokage Tower where he entered through the window, startling Hiruzen, who, when he saw him, went to hug him. Hiruzen, where were you? Naruto, calm down, Hiruzen, hee, I fainted. Hiruzen, are you okay? Naruto, it was just tiredness, nothing more. Hiruzen, Sasuke kept asking if we had found you. Naruto, oh yeah. Hiruzen, yes. Then a raven-haired girl entered who looked worried. Speaking of him, he said with a smile, Sasuke, Naruto is already here. Sasuke, Dobe, are you trying to give me a heart attack? Naruto, huh, what's wrong with you, team? Sasuke, and nothing, he said, looking away, just don't disappear without warning again. Naruto, okay, Titebio. Hiruzen, well, Naruto, since you weren't here when the preliminaries ended, I'll tell you that the next fight will start in a week, okay? Naruto, sure. Hiruzen, alright, you can go now. Sasuke/Naruto, yes. The two boys left, although Sasuke kept staring at Naruto because of the change he had undergone. Naruto, hey team, why are you staring at me so much? He asked, glancing sideways at the raven-haired boy. Sasuke, in 1 hour you completely changed your appearance, he said casually. Naruto, well, actually he trailed off, unsure what to say. Kurama, what do I say? Kurama, tell him the truth. We can trust him, so relax, just take him somewhere else. Naruto, okay, he thought, now looking at Sasuke, or can I tell you here, can we go somewhere else? Sasuke, as you wish. Naruto took Sasuke to the training field, which was a little far from the others. When they arrived, Naruto stared at Sasuke as if he were hesitant to speak, but in the end he did. Naruto, it's my bloodline. Sasuke, what? Naruto, if all Uzumakis are supposed to be born with red hair, but I was born with blonde hair because they sealed my bloodline. Sasuke, but why would they do that? Naruto, well, let's just say that Uzumaki blood is very special and important to many people. Sasuke, and what can he do? Naruto, well, it all depends on our Kekkei-genka. Sasuke, and what is the Kekkei-genka of an Uzumaki? Naruto, it's very difficult to say since we have 5, although there are 2 that are very difficult to obtain. Sasuke, and what are the 2? Naruto, legendary Kekkei-genka and the forbidden Kekkei-genka, but that's not all. Sasuke, is there more? Naruto, well, yes, we Uzumakis are known for our Fuinjutsu and because we have monstrous chakra reserves. Sasuke, that means his chakra didn't run out like ours did. Naruto, that's right, when you're 11 you're at the level of a Chunin, at 16 you're at the level of a Jonin, and at 20 you're at the level of a Kage. Now do you understand? Sasuke, if so you must have chakra reserves at the level of a Chunin, or am I mistaken? Naruto, yes, I'm a Chunin level. Sasuke, this is too much for me. Naruto, well, it all depends. Sasuke, what? Naruto, the children of the Uzumaki royal family will always have chakra reserves at the level of a high Chunin, while those who aren't royal are at the low Chunin level, although there isn't much difference. However, there is one special one who can reach the low Jonin level at just 12 years old if he is trained well. Sasuke, and who would that special Uzumaki be? Naruto, that would be me, he said seriously. Is Kurama okay if I tell Sasuke about you? He thought fearfully. Kurama, I don't see any malice in his intentions towards you. Naruto, good, he thought more calmly. Sasuke, and how is that? Naruto, you see, do you remember the attack of the nine-tailed fox? He asked, a little scared. Sasuke, yes, why? Naruto, only the Uzumaki clan can hire tailed beasts and the nine-tailed fox is one of those beasts. Sasuke, wait, if the Uzumakis can control the nine-tailed fox, why didn't they do it when it attacked the village? Naruto, Sasuke, you're looking at the last living Uzumaki. Sasuke, what? Naruto, before the Kyuubi attack we Uzumakis were massacred by 2 allied villages. They killed us and destroyed our village. Sasuke, wait, didn't the Uzumakis live here? Naruto, no, we had a village called Uzashigakure, the land of the whirlpool. My mother, the princess of the Uzumaki clan, was able to escape and come here to Konoha since they were allied with us. And that whirlpool that Konoha has on each jounin vest is the symbol of my clan. Sasuke, and why were we never told about them? Naruto, why did they keep all the information that belonged to my clan? Sasuke, Well, I think I understand a little more about your past, but what was your mother's name? Naruto, Kushina Uzumaki, also known as the Red Hot Habanero, he said casually. Sasuke froze upon hearing the mere mention of that nickname. According to what his mother had told Kushina some time ago, they called him Bloody Habanero for no reason, and she had told him about the Uzumaki's fights as well as how they had to take his father to the hospital every time she said something about his hair. The late Uzumaki was fearsome in life, and even in death just hearing about her was frightening, something the bicolored boy had noticed. Naruto, are you okay? Sasuke, yes, only my mother told me about your mother's fights. Naruto, wait, your mother knew my mother. Sasuke, yes, she actually told me that those two were best friends. Naruto, hee, I bet they introduced us when you were babies and I was still in my mom's tummy, Titebyo. Sasuke, and you're just like your mother. Naruto, in what sense? Sasuke, well, my mother told me that Kushina-sama used to say databane. Naruto, so I got my verbal tick from my mother. Sasuke, and it's obvious you're his son, you have the same character as him according to what my mother told me. Naruto, and what was your mother's name? Sasuke, Mikoto Uchiha. Naruto, nice names. Sasuke, yes. Naruto, we should leave. Sasuke, you're right. The two boys started walking through the streets of Konoha, which were now illuminated by streetlights, until they separated to go their separate ways. When Naruto arrived home, he simply lay down on his bed since he wasn't hungry and fell asleep. Chapter 40. POV normals. We were in a forest with a very handsome boy in anyone's eyes. His hair was blonde with some red streaks. This was Naruto, who was training non-stop. Naruto, Kurama, what's wrong, pup? Naruto, nothing, it's just that I was thinking about my clan. Kurama, relax, pup, you don't need to worry about that now. Naruto, you're right, Kuramas. Naruto took off his clothes, leaving himself in his swimsuit, and went into a lake near where he was training to rest a bit from his workout. But there was something that bothered him every time he showered: his scar. He never liked looking in a mirror because he didn't want to see those words on his back. They made him feel insecure about his body. The Uzumaki noticed some chakra signatures that were familiar to him, so he decided to put on his shirt and sit on a rock to wait for his academy classmates and their senseis. The first to appear was Team 7. Kakashi, oh Naruto, there you are. Sakura went looking for you but couldn't find you. Naruto, well, I was training and decided to rest for a while, he said, watching as the other teams appeared. Kiba, Naruto? He asked, confused upon seeing the bicolored boy in that place. Naruto, hello Kiba, he said calmly. Asuma, well, what are you waiting for? Go have fun, your training starts tomorrow. Kurenai, Asuma is right. All Naruto and Sasuke, yes. They all took off their clothes, remaining in their swimsuits, and went into the water, splashing the bicolor one a little, who didn't mind getting wet at all because he was already wet. Kakashi, aren't you going into the water? Naruto, I'm not doing well here, he said, watching the others playing with the water except for Sasuke, who was sitting in the shade of a tree. Guy, let's go, Lee, he shouted, throwing himself down with a big jump at the same time as his student. Lee, yes, Gaizensei. Kurenai, Naru, aren't you going to get involved? Naruto, I don't feel like it right now, he said, trying to hide his discomfort. Kurenai, okay, don't you want to come make sandcastles with Konohamaru? Naruto, sure. Konohamaru, hello boss. He shouted happily upon seeing the bicolored one. Naruto, hello Konohamaru Titebyo, he said cheerfully. Kurenai, Naruto, and Konohamaru had happily started building sandcastles. Koi, Naru, here you were, said the hawk that had landed on the bicolored boy's shoulder. Konohamaru, a big bird, he said with stars in his eyes. Koi, who are you calling a big bird, you brat? He started saying angrily, although Konohamaru didn't understand him. Naruto, hehe, Konohamaru Koi isn't a big bird, he's a hawk and he's my friend, Titebyo. He said with an amused smile. Konohamaru o ola kois. Kurenai, what a beautiful names. Koi HMP, I turn my head to the side indignantly. Naruto, hihi Koi, don't be like that, Titebyo. Kurenai, hihi, it seems you love him very much. Naruto, yes, Koi became a great friend and companion. I've known him since I was 5 years old and he almost never leaves my side. Kurenai, well, it seems they're very close then. Naruto, yeah, hihi. Konohamaru is genial. Koi, Naru, I need to tell you something. Naruto, what's wrong, Koi? He asked, confused. Koi, it's difficult to say, can it be alone? Naruto, yeah, sure, I'll be right back, Titebyo. The bicolored boy stood up from where he was, leaving Kurenai and Konohamaru somewhat confused. Naruto moved a little away from his companions to talk to Koi. Naruto, now then, Koi, tell me what you have to say, Titebyo, he said seriously. Koi is Saber Akatsuki. Naruto, Akatsuki. Koi, if it's a secret organization that hunts down Jinchuriki like you. Naruto, I see, and what did you hear? Koi, Koi, very soon 2 members of that group will come to Konoha looking for you. You must be careful. Naruto, did you hear when they're coming? Koi, they will come in the following fights. Naruto, well, thanks for telling me. Koi, he said with a smile while stroking the hawk's head with his finger. Koi de nada Naru. Naruto, we'd better go join the others then. Koi, okay. The bicolored boy returned to where Kurenai and Konohamaru were, who were talking calmly until they saw Naruto approaching them. Naruto, I'm back, Titebyo. Kurenai, Naru, can I ask you something? Naruto, is this referring to Koi? Kurenai, Burno on Pokosi. Naruto, do you want to know how I understood him? Kurenai, SSI. Naruto, well, almost nobody knows about this, but I've been able to talk to and understand animals for a long time. Kurenai, how come Inazuka? Naruto, something like that, but instead of only understanding dogs, I can understand what all animals are saying. Kurenai, and you can find out what those 2 rabbits are saying, she said, pointing at 2 brown bunnies. Naruto, well. Rabbit 1, you know you're getting fat, right? Rabbit 2, you know you're getting fat too, right? Rabbit 1, hey, I'm not that chubby. Rabbit 2, yeah, sure, he said, but then he noticed Naruto watching him. We better go, that kid is giving us weird looks. Rabbit 1, okay, but this isn't over. Naruto, are you serious? He asked with a bead of sweat on the back of his neck. Kurenai, what's wrong? Naruto, they were arguing. Kurenai, about what? Naruto, who was chubby? Kurenai, really? She asked with a bead of sweat on the back of her neck, just like Konohamaru, who was listening to everything. Naruto, si Teitabyo. Kurenai, so you can learn many secrets that people tell when they're with animals, right? Naruto, well, yeah, but the animals that come out at night almost never let you sleep. They talk a lot, Titebyo. Kurenai, and what do you do to be able to sleep? Naruto, I take pills, that always helps. Kurenai, I see. Konohamaru, Naruto, big brother, can we go swimming? He asked with a smile. Naruto, it's just that I. Konohamaru, come on, Naruto, big brother. Udon and Mogi couldn't come and I wanted to go swimming. Naruto, okay, let's go. Kurenai, I'll go get something, I'll be right back. Naruto, see. Naruto and Konohamaru approached the edge of the lake where the bicolored one only put his feet in the water, while Konohamaru had started to swim, although he had not gone too far into the water, so as to be close to Naruto. Konohamaru, Naruto, Onishin pork no tea meats. Naruto, I had already gone in before you guys arrived, Titebyo. Konohamaru, oh, what if we play a race? Naruto, what career? Konohamaru, whoever reaches that rock over there, he said, pointing to a rock in the middle of the lake, wins. Naruto. Okay, now let's hope the chick doesn't die.
Let me know in the comments below if you guys want the next part. Also check out my other video that has been shown and left. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please like and share this video. And have a fantastic day. Bye.